everybody, and a very warm welcome to Trent Bridge Live in association with DAFABet, 18+ gambleaware.org. And it's another double header here at Trent Bridge, and it's another double header that's got off to the perfect start because the Blaze beat Lancashire Thunder earlier on by 15 runs, and now it's the turn of the Outlaws versus those local rivals, the Derbyshire Falcons. Now, just a few days ago, Derbyshire actually beat Notts Outlaws at their ground, and it's time for revenge today. So hopefully that will happen over the next few hours. But the two captains have been out there, and the toss has taken place. And, well, Derbyshire got off to the perfect start. They won the toss, and they have elected to have a bowl. But let's show you the two 11s that will be taking part in this fixture. And from a Notts Outlaws point of view, well, it's the same team that won just 2 days ago. No change for Nottinghamshire, and with that news from the toss, it will be Joe Clark and George Munsey that make their way down the steps very, very shortly. But from Derbyshire's point of view, obviously you got Iron Donald, wicketkeeper and captain for Derbyshire. And then obviously a famous name in there, Matthew Montgomery, the ex-Notts Outlaws player, making his appearance here today. His first appearance at Trent Bridge since moving to Derbyshire full-time. And the very experienced Ross Whiteley in that lineup as well. So they are your two 11s for today's fixture. And somebody that made their T20 debut this year was Joe Pocklington. He was a trialist last season, but he's recently signed a 2-year contract. And I spoke to him in the latest episode of our In Conversation With. So here's a little snippet from Joe Pocklington on about being a trialist and also getting that contract here at Trent Bridge.
Joe, great to see you. Great to have this little chat with you. Before we get on to your story of cricket, I want to start by asking you, it could have been so different. You could have been preparing wickets instead of preparing to take wickets on wickets. You could have been a grounds member.
Yeah, this time last year, actually, I was still working as a groundsman, in Leeds, actually at Yorkshire, so enemy territory, so to speak. But well, I wouldn't really say it was a career ambition of mine, but not to put that down, but it was more like it was the best job that I could do to help me still pursue cricket. I was working at Wheatwood, which is also Yorkshire's twos ground, so I'd be able to train there before work, after work. They're very flexible with me trying to trial around last summer. Yeah, it's funny how the cricket world changes. One minute you're making wickets and next you're bowling and batting on them. So, but yeah, one of those funny stories, I guess.
Do you think that gives you, are you now one of those people that can go out to a wicket and go, right lads, this is what this wicket's going to do. I've got a bit of experience in this. This is what's going to happen on this wicket.
I might have tried to do that, and then the lads would very quickly shut me down and say, come on mate, we don't need any of your expertise, you just stay quiet over there. Everyone likes to think they've got an idea of what the wicket's going to do, and then invariably it does something different. So yeah, I keep those opinions to myself and just trying to think, is it going to spin or not? And then if it does, I'm happy. Exactly.
Well, let's talk about sort of your cricketing journey. Let's talk about the trialling sort of system. How did you find that? Because obviously it's not an easy situation in the trialling system, going to different clubs, trying to get that contract. What was your sort of experience of those days?
Yeah, it was quite a long process for me. So the first time I trialled was in 2021 at Sussex, where I grew up playing. I sort of went away to Australia, came back after COVID, and then got a full summer of trialling in the second team, which was a great experience for me. Learnt loads in that period, but then didn't get offered a contract at the end of the year. Went away back to Leeds Uni, where I spent 4 years, and tried when I was up there to get my hands on a trial, and nothing was forthcoming. It was one of those things, opportunities, sometimes hard to come by in that environment. And to be honest, I probably wasn't good enough to get the trials, probably wasn't knocking on the door hard enough. And then it was sort of end of May last year, so about a year ago, I finally managed to get my hands on a trial at Yorkshire. And then did pretty well in that game. The following day, I'm back at work on the tools as a groundsman, and I get a call from, because I text Steve asking for twos games at the year before. I was like, oh, Steve Mullaney's ringing me. What the hell is this going to be about? And he rings me and says, I've been given your number by your Lincolnshire coach, Eddie Burke. We want to give you a game next week. Are you keen? I was like, yeah, obviously, but just let you know, I'm sort of on trial with Yorkshire at the same time. Is that all right? He was like, yeah, no problem. So it's funny, a bit like London buses. You spend ages waiting for one and then two come along at once. It's basically been 4 years or so between trialling around between Sussex and then Yorkshire and Notts. So it's definitely a weird environment being a trialist, because you're not in the kit. You're introducing yourself. You're going from game to game, especially when you're in the Yorkshire kit one day and Notts kit the next day. I felt like I played Derby about 8 times last year, because they were always in the same group as both teams. But it's a weird experience, because even if you're getting positive feedback off the coaches, ultimately you're still a bit of an outsider. But it was just a case of, I came back from Australia last spring and was like, well, I'm going to give it one more crack, and I'm pretty at peace with it if it doesn't work out. And maybe that sort of free mindset helped me, because I just was like, well, at least if I end up working in an office or whatever job I go into, I'm going to be pretty content that I've given it a crack, and did pretty well, and the opportunities came pretty well last year, with Liam going away to the 100 as a wild card. They wanted a left arm spinner for the One Day Cup, and I guess it all just worked out from there.
Do you have to have sort of clarity in mind in those situations? Like you say, one day you're at Yorkshire, one day you're at Notts, but that kind of clarity of, as you said, this is going to be my last kind of poke at getting a full-time contract with a club. Do you have to have clarity and understand that not every day is going to be potentially a good day, but you know where you want to go in the end?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was nice from both coaches, both Tom Smith and Mole here were very clear with me and said that we want to give you a good run of games, just so you've got a fair crack at it, which I'm still very grateful to both of them. And the fact that they're both mates, they when there were clashes between the games, they weren't hostile or anything. They were like, we don't mind who you pick to play for. So that was good peace of mind. But yeah, I guess there were times I was like, well, I didn't think I'd actually get these trials, so every game's a bonus, and that's the sort of mindset I was going into it, because like I was 24, slightly on the older side to be getting a contract. I was trying to keep in that mindset of, if I have a bad day, so be it, because if I get a contract, it's sort of, everything's a bonus. That was the mindset. And whilst you don't want that to lead into sort of a, oh, I'm just happy to be here mindset, you still want to get into the contest and be as competitive as you can. It was quite freeing knowing that, well, if it goes wrong, so be it. I can hold my hands up and say I gave it my best shot.
So if we look at, obviously, the opportunity that you got with Notts in the Metro Bank, as you say, there was a group of players here at Trent Bridge that got picked up by 100 teams, which allowed you the chance to pretty much be our frontline spinner in that competition. So what was your kind of mindset and your view heading into that Metro Bank competition? Yeah,
you're right. It certainly was quite a strange set of circumstances that unfolded, because Farhan got a late call up. Obviously Liam went, Freddie had already gone, Calvin was he was in the 100, and then Monty went to Derby. So it's from the club having, what was that, 4 spin options to 0, and then me. Again, it was like, well, I'm surely going to get a few games here, so unless I really stink it up in the first game. But it was good, because I knew that I was going to get overs. I knew that I had a role to play. I knew that I'd bowl in the middle, and I just prepared myself to do that. It was, and thankfully playing on some club decks, you get maybe a bit more out of it than bowling here at Trent Bridge, where it's test wickets, flat decks. So I felt like I could really showcase my skill, and the fact that you're maybe playing at a club ground makes it not feel as daunting as playing in front of 10,000 here or whatever it is. So yeah, it was good to get that role, but just one of those funny things cricket throws at you, isn't it, where the club has 4 spin options. Mick was probably really scratching his head thinking, I've had 4 spinners for this company, I've got none. So I was very grateful that it all unfolded that way. But yeah, one of those weird things where you end up being a frontline spinner out of nowhere, but felt like I gave it my best crack and did pretty well in that tournament as well.
He's come a long way since those ground staff days, Joe Pocklington there, and you'll be able to watch more of that interview later on next week. But I'm now joined by Robbie from Outlaws and Lachlan from Out for Cricket. Today is our designated Pride fixture. Robbie, just tell us how important it is to keep raising awareness and have days like today.
It's extremely important, just based on how people view LGBT people, and just making sure that they know that they are represented and have a safe place where they can come and enjoy watching the sport they love.
Exactly. And Lachlan, just tell us a little bit about Out for Cricket and the work that you do.
Yeah, so we're a community interest company that's been around for 3 years now, and we work basically across the whole game, from the professional game right through to all the counties, the national counties, and right down to the recreational level, as well as supporting all the LGBT clubs, so like the Outlaws, to get more people involved in cricket and to make sure that the environment is inclusive and LGBTQ people want to come and play cricket.
And just describe the work that you two do together and your relationship and friendship, because we've just been off camera there, and you're taking, you've got a few jokes between you two. So just tell us a little bit about the work that, from your side, what you do with Out for Cricket.
Yeah, so I first met Lachlan around 3 years ago, when Trent Bridge actually hosted a conference for Out for Cricket, and it was at that point where I knew that I wanted to get an LGBT team formed, which now thankfully we have, and Lachlan has been fantastic with giving me ideas on how we can get it formed, offered lots of support for it as well, it's fantastic to have people there to be able to help with those initial first steps.
And Lachlan, just tell us, if people are watching this for the first time, didn't know too much about obviously the work that you two do and the companies do, where can they find information? How can they get involved?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're local here to Nottinghamshire, then join the Outlaws, absolutely. There are other clubs around the country which you can join as well. There's 5 different clubs. But go to our Instagram, Out for Cricket. We have an Instagram page which is quite active now, and we put all details on taster sessions we run and the work that we're doing. And yeah, just send us a DM and get involved. And if you don't know where you want to play cricket, then get in touch with us and we can help point you in the right direction.
And Robbie, would you agree with that? It's all about getting people involved. The more people, everybody's welcome, and just kind of keep on growing.
Yeah, 100%. I know that a lot of people see LGBTQ and think, oh, okay, I'm not part of the community, I can't join. It's for absolutely everybody. It doesn't matter about gender, sexual orientation, race. At these clubs, you are welcome.
All right, it's been great to chat to you two. Hopefully the rain actually goes away, because it's literally just started raining, but hopefully that stays away. Hopefully today is a big success and it keeps on growing. Thank you for bringing awareness to people, that are sat at home watching this. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully the Outlaws will win later.
Yeah, do hope so.
Brilliant.
All right,
No worries.
thank you very much. Okay, you take care of yourselves, and thanks for joining us. Thank you, Lachlan. All right, cheers. Okay, now the players are just about to get ready, but if we can quickly just take a look at the table, you will see that it is very, very tight. Everybody has played 5 games, but if you can see there in the middle, 8 points. A few teams are on 8 points. 2 of those teams are Derbyshire and Notts Outlaws. So today is a very big game. The Outlaws are looking for revenge, as I mentioned earlier on, and it will be the Outlaws that are batting, because it is Derbyshire that won the toss and they said have a bowl. But we are literally a few minutes away from the start of play, so let's hand you over and speak to your BBC radio commentary team of Dave and Kyle.
Pass, good to see and catch up with Chris Reed, the head coach of the visiting Lancashire women's side. Had a little natter with Chris not so long ago. Star of the day for the Blaze with the bat was Tammy Beaumont with a half century. With the ball, Charlie Knott, who got 4 wickets including 3 and an over. But now focus turns to the men's match. We're still awaiting the emergence of the two teams and the umpires from down below us, this Radcliffe Road end. I can tell you the news from the toss is that Derbyshire's skipper Aaron Donald has won it and has asked Notts to bat first. So the Outlaws will be batting first. It's an unchanged Notts side as the umpires lead the Derbyshire team out, and up go the fireworks, the rocket launchers sending sparks high into the sky. You can hear the firecrackers going off as well in the background. Notts unchanged from the side that defeated Warwickshire here on Friday evening, as Ewan was just telling listeners to BBC Radio Nottingham. It's put Notts into a gaggle, a group, a clutch of players, a clutch of teams rather, between 2nd and 5th in the North Group, all on the same number of points, and they're only separated by run rate, so Notts could be as high as 2nd in the table if they win here. Derbyshire currently, courtesy of a better run rate, occupy that 2nd spot, and also, as Ewan pointed out, it's a long time since Derbyshire did the double over Notts, 21 years to be precise, and they won a week last Friday, quite convincingly in the end, although the final margin of victory was a little closer than it actually was on the evening. Tom Moore's whacking a few runs towards the back end. So we're out there in the middle. Joe Clark and George Munsey for Notts. Unchanged side to follow Jack Haynes, Tom Moores, Freddie McCann, Benny Howell, George Linder, Liam Patterson-White, Ollie Stone, Dylan Pennington and Mo Ali. Derbyshire, pretty much the same side that beat Notts. One change, Rory Hayden, youngster who came through their academy system, in for the Pakistan international Akif Javid. I'm Dave Bracegood, alongside me former Notts second 11 player, Warwickshire leg spin bowler Kyle van Vollenhoven. Very good afternoon, Kyle.
Good afternoon, Dave. Good afternoon to all our listeners and those watching on the live stream. We're going to have in Aitchinson to bowl the first over from the pavilion end to Joe Clark, who shuffles across his crease first ball and gets struck on the thigh pad, dot ball. Yeah, earlier we were absolutely treated to a thriller between Lancashire Thunder and the Blaze. Blaze being victorious, and just like Friday, they'll be hoping for a double win. Notts winning and the Blaze winning, so Notts bat first this evening. Aitchison in, and this is wide, and he's going to have to re-bowl that. So it's one slip in for the Falcons. Deep backward point, one on one each side really. Slice man, slice gully, deep backward point, loads of different people you can call it. Deep backward, square leg just in front of square. Fine leg and third man, almost had fly slip and fly leg slip. It's Aitchison in to Clark, who's defending out to mid on, where they come through for a single and Notts get their first run off the bat and move to 2 for no loss.
Yeah, Joe Clark, very lean bunch of figures so far in this season's competition. Not got better than 21, which he made against Lancashire at Old Trafford. 121, 9, 11 and 14. Sooner or later Joe Clark's going to hit the straps running in this competition. George Munsey, he of course made 88 not out in the win a week ago against Durham.
Munsey on strike, Aitchison in, and pray a miss outside the off stump there from Munsey. A little bit of kick, a little bit of bounce there from Aitchison. Definitely done something. Really good delivery.
I think the feedback from the women's game was that certainly pace on it. It does come through quite nicely, quite quickly.
Aitchison in, and this is struck Munsey on the pad. There's a fairly big appeal and a big scream of not out audible to us here. I think it was probably sliding down the leg side, doing a little bit too much.
Looked like it. The standing umpire at the far end, Russell Warren, no stranger to these parts, former Notts bat, 20 years or so ago. Square leg Naeem Ashraf, the other standing umpire.
Aitchison goes wide, and this is slashed away to the slice man out there on the offside boundary, and they come through for a single. Dave, I'd have to say it's the second time today we've been wrongly informed of who and who is not playing. Rory Hayden is in fact not playing, and Akeef Jarvid is playing. He stood right here in front of us here at Short Fine Leg, and is now just updated on the big screens around. So Akeef Jarvid is indeed playing as Aitchison in, and this is flicked into the leg side. Should be able to get back for 2 here, which means that the first over will go for 5. Joe Clark moves to 3, and Muncie 1 with a wide as well. So at the end of the first one, the Outlaws are 5 for no loss after being put into bat.
Yes, we were given the Derbyshire team, or led to believe that Rory Hayden was going to make his T20 debut, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Through the first over here, Notts of course in their all green with the white names and numbers, Derbyshire in the contrasting light and dark blue. It's going to be pace off for the second over. Jack Morley, slow left arm spinner, who they recruited last year from Lancashire. Just surplus to requirements at Old Trafford. Done a good job in this season's competition for Derbyshire so far. So there'll be a slow left arm spinner bowling to the Scottish left-handed batter George Munsey, and Munsey straight away switches round to play it as a right-hander, and makes a bit of a meal of it actually. Doesn't get any bat on it, strikes the pad and safely gathered before they can take a leg by. 5 fielders in the ring on the offside, and again he's gone for the switch and lifts it over that cluster of 5 fielders and goes all the way into the Bridgeford Road stand for 6. So nice shot, nice clean pick-up from Munsey, and this is just very much cricket of the modern era. First 2 balls he's faced from the spinner, he's played as a right-hander. Extraordinary stuff, and he's got this one away for 6. Yep. First one was just a little tester, a little trial. Second one beautifully executed. Will he go again? He will go again, but it was a very wide full toss from Morley. Had he stayed where he was, it'd either been a leg side wide or it would have been a nice juicy leg side full toss to belt away. Is he going to play them all as a right-hander?
Go on.
Here's
do it again.
Fourth ball. No, he stays as he is and can't get hold of this one. Just trickles back off some part of Munsey's anatomy back to the bowler. Notts Outlaws 11 without loss here on BBC Radio Nottingham on the FM frequencies, and we're also online via the BBC Sport website. As again he goes right-handed, and again he's got hold of it, and again he's hit it for 6 into the Fox Road stand. It's an extraordinary inconsistent over this from batter and bowler, but you'd have to say the batter is coming out on top. 5 balls in, and the bowler's figures are 0 for 12. He's been hit for 2 sixes in between the other deliveries that have clattered into the pads.
Yeah, a bit of a crazy first over this from Morley.
Still no alteration to the field. I think I might have put somebody out there by now. Munsey on 13, and he goes again, and it's missed by the keeper. Now then, is it going to be byes? It is. So missed by the keeper and Munsey. Again he went to play it as a right-hander, missed it, didn't hit anything, and just sped away for 4 byes. So really extraordinary cricket in that over. It's nothing that you would see in any conventional cricket book of how to play against a slow left armer, or how you'd go out there and prepare to build an innings. He's just played, I think, 5 out of the 6 as a right-hander, and he's 13 not out. The Outlaws are 21 not out, 16 from the over.
Yeah, massive over that. Aitchison now to Clark. How can Clark follow it up? Just gets squared up a little bit as he's defending off the back foot. Potentially a little bit of movement away from the right-hander Joe Clark, who is in his normal all green and 33 on the back, but got a white long sleeve undershirt on underneath the the Notts Outlaws colours. A little bit chillier day today here in Nottingham. This is flicked onto the leg side by Clark, and they jog through for a quick single. 22 for no loss.
What do you make of Derbyshire winning the toss and choosing to chase? Because last year they batted first and walloped Notts here. A week last Friday they walloped Notts at Derby, put runs on the board to begin with, 235. Happy to chase today.
Answer that now as Aitchison in, and this is hammered down the ground. That will be 6. It's a glorious shot, and Muncie, well, he fancies a little bit of what Derbyshire have got to offer. Beautiful shot straight down the ground towards the Batman scoreboard for 6. Overpitched by Aitchison, and Muncie's not going to miss out. I agree, Dave. I find that very, very interesting. I would have probably put Notts in, put them under pressure, asked them to try and get yourselves up to around 200 and say, chase that down, fellas. Put them under as much pressure as you can. Muncie in, and this is nicked over third man for 4. Well, Muncie is living dangerously, or not. Maybe fortune favours the brave. He has definitely tried to play it in that area, definitely not tried to get it that fine, and it goes over Morley and it goes for 4.
Yeah, it's a little bit of fortune. Caleb Jewell up inside the ring at short third, lifted over his head and away for 4.
Muncie 23 off 11, sets poison, goes again, and this is the biggest of the lot. This is ginormous. This has gone quite a long way back into the Smith Cooper stand, and that stand already has taken an absolute peppering off the bat of Muncie. 38 for no loss. Still 1 ball left of this over.
Ollie Stone will be smiling because, of course, he got whacked around at Derby, went for 32 in an over. Right at the start of Derbyshire's innings there to get them going. Nyron Donald hitting 4 6s and 2 4s in an over. Muncie trying to give a bit of payback.
Muncie, and he's going to have to re-bowl this as Aitchison, so goodness me. This first 3 overs has pretty much had it all. Muncie's decided to change his the way he plays cricket and bat right-handed for an over, and now has decided to absolutely pepper the Smith Cooper stand, batting left-handed his normal way. So he's 29 of Clark. Joe Clark got the best seats in the house. Aitchison in, goes wide, and this is carved through the offside. That will be another 4. George Muncie, take a bow. Fantastic batting. Everyone in Trent Bridge has been treated to an absolute clinic here. And the Falcons, after winning the toss and putting the Outlaws into bat, under some pressure, it's 43 for no loss after 3.
7 ball over that one, 22 runs coming from it. George Muncie after a real flyer, 33 from 13 to the Scot. And somebody's going to have to put the brakes on for Derbyshire. Got the floodlights on here in Nottingham. A little bit of gentle watery sunshine as well, but by and large we've had a diet of dirty black grey clouds over the ground for much of the day. Thankfully no rain, and it is expected to stay dry. Nick Potts to bowl the 4th over, another right arm medium fast bowler, bowling to Joe Clark, comes down the track, flails it onto the leg side, and Matthew Montgomery, former Notts man of course, doing the fielding. Proudly was wearing a county championship winners medal the last time he was on this ground at the end of last season. Matthew Montgomery played last season, part of the county championship winning side. Made the full-time move to Derbyshire in the winter, having been on loan as Clark drives up to mid-on, fielded by Martin Anderson, and there's no run. 43 without loss. Notts have dominated this fixture over the years, played 41 matches to a conclusion. Notts 30 wins to 10. 1 tie as well back in 2021 at Derby, where both sides I think left thinking they should have won. 43 without loss. Next delivery again hit hard by Clark, but too hard up to Ross Whiteley, who takes it the second attempt on the bobble. Derbyshire won here last year, but that was their first win since 2013. They had a lot of very disappointing visits in between. This is the fourth ball of the over as Potts runs in, past umpire Ashraf. Bowl's nice and full, and Clark has chopped it down into the ground. It goes behind him and taken by the keeper. So the last over went for 22. This over, 4 consecutive dot balls, Kyle.
Yeah, it's just Joe Clark again. We've said it a few times this season, struggling a little bit for white ball form. Hasn't been his fluid self usually come to notice and become very fond of watching at the top of the order in white ball cricket. But some might say he is due to score a few.
He's on 4 at the minute, can't get Potts away. Can now, cutting it away out into the deep. There's protection out there with Jack Morley, the deep backward point boundary in front of the Larwood and Vaux stand. And a single, 44 without loss. So there'll be red alert just quickly running through the Derbyshire fielders at the moment with the sight of Munsey back on strike. I don't think he's going to have time to turn round and play Potts as a right-hander. But he will still be looking to play a big shot, I'm sure, if given the opportunity. It's short and it's pulled away on the leg side for a single. Good over from Potts, just 2 from it. We probably shouldn't be surprised because it's been a day for Potts. Earlier on, Grace Potts of Lancashire took figures of 5 for 20 in the women's match. Nick Potts of Derbyshire, though, wicketless so far, but that's a very good over, just 2 runs, and the Outlaws are 45 without loss after 4.
Yeah, really good over. Nick Potts just holding his line and length there very, very nicely. Not sort of looking to go searching, went really full, almost went into the block hole a couple of times for Joe Clark, and then went a couple of short balls just to bowl to his field at the back end of the over. Keith Jarvid, who absolute gun, it's safe to say, left arm over the wicket here to left-hander Munsey, and it's a false start. So the overseas for Derbyshire this year, electrically fast, very skillful, is Jarvid. Pretty slippery customer, it's safe to be said. Gets it through quite quickly. Genuinely shapes it away from the left-hander back into the right, and this one is just guided down to third. They should be able to canter back for 2 and do so. 2 comes from the first ball, a little bit of width offered, and just Munsey opening the face of the back, gets it down to third. 47 for no loss. Not obviously in a low-scoring thriller against the Bears on Friday. I've got themselves in real big contention. Last game before sort of break for the county championship. Moss would love to go 3 from 3. This is full from Jarvid, and Munsey playing this out onto the leg side. They look to run the first one. Munsey's come halfway down, really wanting it, and then there's overthrows from Nye Donald, and that's really good work by Ross Whiteley as a backer-upper. He's certainly saved 4, which would have turned to 5 runs, which would have really, no doubt about it, ticked off the bowler, Keith Jarvid.
Yes, they were scrambling there, Derbyshire, to initially try and execute a run out and then to prevent overthrows, which they just about managed to do thanks to a desperate lunge from Whiteley at the far end. Otherwise the ball would have been away to the pavilion rope.
That brings skipper Joe Clark onto strike. Jarvid in, and Clark just flicking this out to deep mid-wicket. 2 men back in the power play here, a deep mid-wicket and deep backward squares. So be very surprised if Joe Clark did get anything sort of wide of off stump for him to flail his hands up.
Of course, Clark's not been in great form in these matches so far, but it doesn't matter so much when you've got somebody at the other end, 37 from 16, 49 without loss halfway through the 5th. Doesn't matter who's got him, does it?
No, not at all. Another big power play put Notts in good stead. Jarvid in, goes full to Munsey. Yorker just tailed back in the end, and Munsey's done very well to dig that out. Does bring up the 50 partnership which comes in the 5th over. 28 balls. Muncie, the real big contributor, 38 runs of that. It's his. 6 of them Joe Clark and the rest extras. So 50 runs. Going at just over 10s. 1 ball left. Two balls left in this over. No doubt Joe Clark is going to look to give himself a little bit of room here. Goes full and wide as Jarvin is beaten for pace. There's Joe Clark as it goes through to Nye Donald, the wicketkeeper.
Won't be too many occasions in the last few years where Joe Clark's been part of a 50-run partnership and his contribution's only 6. Normally he's the aggressor, particularly in this form of the game. But Notts will be very happy with where they are at the moment. Just don't want to spoil this power play now by losing a wicket or two.
Yep, couldn't agree with you more. It's Jarvin into Clark and off stump, removed. He's made a real mess of the stumps there. Dave, I couldn't have agreed with you more. They really didn't need to lose the wicket, but Joe Clark's miserable form in T20 cricket this season ends. The next time he walks to the middle will be with a red ball, and I think he'll be pretty happy to hear we'll see the end of the white ball for a stage. It's 50 for 1.
Yeah.
Off stump has just disappeared.
Yeah, a number of people always talk about the curse of the commentator. I used to a bit myself, but I had nothing to do with that.
No.
Joe Clark has missed a ball that's fallen clattered into his off stump, and it doesn't matter if I was saying the last thing they need to do or what. He's gone. But 50 on the board, and again, if you throw that down to the coaching staff, you throw that down to the players, you throw it down to all the Nottinghamshire supporters here. Will you take 50 for 1 after 5? By gum you will. That's still a good start for Notts Outlaws. Jack Haynes in at 3. He's another one who yet to score a 50 in this year's competition. Has 45 as his best score, and that came against Derbyshire. Made 36 on Friday here against Warwickshire. 50 for 1. It's going to be Nick Potts to bowl his second over, the final one of the initial batch of 6. Bowls to Muncie, who just opens the face and chops it down to short third for a single. 51 for 1. Joe Clark out then for 6, bowled by Akif Jarvid. Not sure on what is a new strip. Yeah, they played the women's match on it, but it's not the tired, well-used one that they played on Friday night. Ball coming on nicely. They'll be looking, certainly will be looking to challenge that 200 that generally is a very decent score. Anything over 180 there I think will be acceptable. Little drop and run from Haynes. Dropped that and ran, and was almost then looking towards George Muncie to see if he'd set off as well, and Muncie, fortunately for him, he had. I think he had a little bit of time on his hands there. It was nicely judged by Haynes, but certainly Haynes set off much quicker.
Good work by Jack Haynes, just very, very good at rotating the strike. He looked really good on Friday night and found a little bit of form here.
52 for 1. Potts round the wicket, bowls cut into the offside and through it for 4 by Muncie. My word, he hits the ball hard, George Muncie, and you've just got to hope really as the fielding side that he hits it straight to one of those in light and dark blue. On this occasion he threaded a gap through the offside for 4.
Yeah, pace off from Potts. Muncie just waits for it and slaps it through the offside. Gorgeous looking cricket shot. 56 for 1.
Muncie up to 43 from just 19 balls. He's on strike now, the left-hander, and he'll pull this onto the leg side. It's only going to be a single on this occasion. Goes to 44. 44 out of 57. That's a very handy contribution from George Muncie. Got Freddie McCann, Tom Moores listed to come in next. In fact, from Benny Howell, there's all those left-handers, Liam Patterson-White, George Linder as well. This ball is pushed nicely by Haynes into the offside, fielded by Whiteley. Single taken, so 1 ball left in the power play. 58 for 1. Notts Outlaws put into bat here, if you're just joining us. Derbyshire bidding to complete the double over Notts, which would go down very well indeed, the other end of the Brian Clough Way. Muncie on 44. Can he reach his 50 in the grandest of fashion? Not with this one. So he drags it on the leg side. Again, Ross Whiteley doing well with a sliding stop. It's a single, means that Muncie will keep strike at the end of 6 overs then. Notts Outlaws 59 for 1. Joe Clark dismissed. Final ball of the 5th over, bowled by Akif Javid for 6. Really good stuff from Muncie in particular in the power play. Good start for the home side here.
This could be interesting. Morley's going to become... Oh, it's Matthew Montgomery, sorry. Matthew Montgomery into the attack. And Muncie swinging away to the short boundary here. So this could be very interesting. I'm sure he'll be eyeing that Smith Cooper stand up to give a little bit more damage to.
Yeah, but he'll also be looking for the reverse again, as we saw in the first over.
Yeah, Matthew Montgomery in Derbyshire colours in, and this is defended into the offside by Muncie, and they get through for a single. He moves to 46 now, 60 for 1. Sun trying very, very hard to come out here this afternoon at Trent Bridge. Decent crowd in to watch Derby Day. It's going to be around the wicket here to Jack Haynes, who took a big liking to. Oh my goodness, and that's spun through the gate. Montgomery's in, and that's spun through the gate, and it's beat everybody. It's good work there by
Ben Aitchison.
Ben Aitchison, just waiting for him to come back up as we just drops below our view here. Montgomery's got that to spin, and spin quite sharply. He's beat Haynes and Nye Donald all ends up.
Yeah, it's given us leg buys actually.
Montgomery in, goes flatter, pulled into the gap. Think that's going to go away for 4, and does. So a little bit short and a little bit flat by Matthew Montgomery. Wayne Madsen can't get there at mid-wicket. Morley on the deep mid-wicket boundary can't get anywhere near it either. So the boundary for Jack Haynes. Notts just keep picking up a boundary and over. Montgomery and goes slightly fuller, and this is a swish and a miss, and it goes through to keeper Nye Donald. No run, 66 for 1. Matthew Montgomery. 2 balls left in this over. Jack Haynes off the back foot, pushes this to cover, and there's no run. So tidy enough. 7 from this over so far. Change in field. Now mid-wicket goes across and gets a nice juicy full toss, which he helps round the corner, and it's good work out there in the deep by Nick Potts, who keeps it to 2. Notts will probably feel that they've missed out there slightly, but at the end of that one it's 68 for 1. 9 coming from that, so after 7, 68 for 1.
Slimming Muncie's back to face. Still on 46 from 22. Going to have another over from Akif Javid. He's changing ends. This will be from down below us, the Ratcliffe Road end of the ground here. Left-hander be bowling to 5-4 offside field. On the offside, 3 in the ring, 2 out. On the leg side, it's got 3 out. This is down the leg side. That's. I was going to say that's a certain leg side wide. What can that have must have brushed something, otherwise it would have been called as a wide, surely.
Do you think it's because Muncie's moved across his stumps there? I thought even if he's moved across, it's still a wide. Anything down the leg side. I think Java's got away with one.
I couldn't agree more. I was a little staggered. I sort of trying to take in what I'd seen, which of course you can't always do, but just felt it had gone straight down the leg side and should have been a wide. Once he chops this down in the ground, now then, he wasn't called for wide, but he has been called for a no ball. That's absolutely fatal in T20 cricket. He's overstepped, and this will mean it's a free hit. They did change ends once he chopped the ball down outside off stump, and they scampered a single. So it's a free hit. Jack Haynes will be on strike because they've swapped batters. The Derbyshire skipper, Nye Donald, can move his field around to his heart's content. 70 for 1. Nice position for Jack Haynes to be in. He's 8 from 7, but a real chance just to free the arms here and just try and hit the ball away. Jarvid must stay going over the wicket, even though it's to a right-hander. And we'll see what both make of this. In comes Jarvid, bowls, and Haynes throws everything at it, just skews up over sort of a gully region down to third, and he'll only get a single. Jarvid slightly getting away with that one. Single to Jack Haynes. He goes to 9, 71 for 1 in the 8th. Notts put into bat. Again, just looking at the umpire there, who's sort of making a gesture as if Jarvid should go back to his mark and stop muttering, something like that. Might have got that wrong, but that's certainly what looked like the umpire's gesture towards him. Get away, go on, get on with it. In comes Jarvid, bowls. Munsey, who started off with 3 sixes in his first 19 runs, has just sort of been quietened down a little bit. He's helped this down to long leg for a single. Moves to 48 now from 25. 72 for 1. As we know, it's not so easy once there are more fielders out on the boundary ropes, but he's not looked to play such big shots, has he? No,
he hasn't looked to take on the boundary and clear the boundary like he did in the power play, most certainly not.
Jarvid now to Jack Haynes, 72 for 1, midway through the 8th. The left arm quick bowls, good quick delivery that. It pitched and was through into the keeper's gloves really before Jack Haynes could organise himself into playing the cut shot. Good fast bowling from Jarvid, who's 1 for 9 from 10 deliveries.
He's a slippery customer, really is fast. That's flowing through. Nye Donald's taking that about chest high, and it's still rising as it comes through to the keeper, who's nearly back on the 30-yard circle.
I think the Notts quicks I enjoy bowling on here as Jarvid in again to Haynes. That's off the pad, nice and full, almost off the boot. They'll get a leg by. Yeah, Ollie Stone, Dylan Pennington and Mo Ali will enjoy bowling on here, you'd imagine. 73 for 1. 1 ball left in the 8th. Looks like the Notts coaching staff have asked for a wicket with plenty of pace and carry in it. Last ball of the over. Munsey's been closing in on his half century for the last couple of overs. It's on 48. There's Jarvid running away from us. Ball's now to Munsey. A pacey delivery that Munsey went to play the uppercut, but it's almost through again into the keeper's gloves before he could do anything about it. Good stuff that over from Akif Jarvid. 73 for 1. Just 5 from that over.
Another phenomenal over. Very, very difficult to score off. Doesn't miss his links and changes it up really nicely. Good bouncers, good Yorkers. So 73 for 1.
Some freebies been thrown into the crowd. In the Bridgeford Road stand over there. They've been giving away freebies all day as far as I could see.
Montgomery into Haynes, who's driving this into extra cover. No run. Wayne Madsen does the fielding.
There was a competition downstairs. Between the two matches, I popped downstairs onto the concourse and a little go, a spinning wheel.
This is full by Matthew Montgomery and Jack Haynes pushing it down the ground. They ran the first one fairly hard, but never really going to get to.
As most of you will know, the hundreds almost upon us, and the Trent Rockets playing an all-new strip this year, new sponsors, new everything, and they've got a lot of gear to give away, and you spun, you either won or you didn't, and people walking away with Trent Rocket shirts and so on.
Next ball from Monty is just into the wicket, and Munsey bunts it down the ground. He moves to 49-27, 75 for 1. You not fancy picking yourself up a shirt there?
No, the queue was a tad long, and no, I didn't have the wherewithal.
This is swept away into the deep, straight to deep mid-wicket, where Morley, I believe, does the fielding.
I was on my way actually to chat to and interview Charlie Knott about her performance in the women's game, which you might be able to hear a little later on or tomorrow night in the game.
Muncie in, and this is pushed down the ground, and that will be the 50 for Muncie. It comes off 28 deliveries. Really, really good knock by Muncie. 3 4s and 4 6s, striking at 178. Lethal batting from the Notts opener. This is a lot slower by Matthew Montgomery, and deep mid-wicket again does the fielding out there. But all in all, a very tidy over. Only 5 coming from that Matthew Montgomery over. Notts 78 for 1 after 9.
Muncie's second 50 in this season's competition last Sunday. He likes Sundays, he goes to work on Sundays. He got 88 not out in the win over Durham. George Muncey, but not even at the halfway stage yet of this innings. He's already got 50 to his name. Has been 1 century scored by a Notts batter in T20 cricket against Derbyshire. That was Ricky Vessels in 2017, made 110 here. Likewise, Derbyshire have a centurion on this ground in the fixtures. You have to go way back to 2010 when Wes Durston scored 111. Here's Martin Anderson, former Middlesex all-rounder. Comes in and bowls, and that's a solid connection from Haynes, but he's only going to get 1 for it. Yeah, Wes Durston, who began his career with Somerset and drifted out of the game, then had a great season with the Unicorns in the List A competition. I think it was the 40 over competition as it was then, and Derbyshire picked him up on a punt and played in the Blast for them that year and got 100 here against Notts a long time ago. Muncey to Madsen, good bit of fielding from the South African born Italian international Wayne Madsen. And Muncey had to scramble for home, and he got there. 80 for 1 in the 10th. Good cricketer Martin Anderson, who's bowling here, has a ton against Notts to his name from his Middlesex days down at Radlett 2 or 3 years ago. Bowls one that's very, very wide, but he'd gone a long way across. Jack Haynes just asking the umpire there why he didn't give a wide, and umpire Ashraf pretty much saying, because you went that far outside your off stump, Jack. So Anderson, who looks to have had a fairly close crop around the ears, comes in and bowls again, and Haynes will hit this one back over his head, and that's a lovely blow down the ground for a 1 bounce 4 by Jack Haynes. Nicely struck. Not still very much on course to get up to 200, but we've seen throughout this competition that whenever we've thought they're going along well, they've managed to say just hang on a moment, and then proceeded to lose 3 or 4 wickets in quick succession. 84 for 1, 2 balls left in the 10th, and a swish and a miss from Haynes goes through to the keeper. Prime example of that was on Friday evening, wasn't it, where a very routine looking run chase suddenly became very, very sticky indeed until George Linder got them home in the final over.
Yeah, lost wickets in clumps, haven't they? Something that's really just sort of hampered their big run scorers.
Anderson bowls, and off the slice by Haynes. Thought Jarvie could have shied at the stumps, but he elected to hang on to the ball. So we're halfway through. 85 for 1. A couple of good things about that from the Outlaws. They've got along obviously to decent rate. 8.5 and overs, so pretty good. They've got 9 wickets in hand for the second half of the innings, and they've got Jack Haynes ticking along nicely. 18 not out, but at the other end George Muncey is already past 50. He's 51 from 29, so they're nicely poised here for a push towards 200. Can they complete it? That's going to be the challenge.
Most certainly, as Montgomery's in and Haynes is swinging this down the ground. And that's going to go for 6. That's a lovely shot, Jack Haynes. We saw him take down Dan Mosley on Friday night, hitting him real straight and far. And this is no exception. He hammers Matthew Montgomery down the ground as well.
Tell you what, it's always the quandary. I'll come back to it because Montgomery's already got the ball.
Montgomery in and Haynes down the leg side now flicks it and dived over it as Aitchison, which would mean they can come back for 2. A little bit sloppy that.
It's always the quandary of a cameraman now, whether this is a photographer, as in this case, or a cameraman with a TV camera or whatever. The ball's coming towards you. What do you do?
Montgomery in and Haynes sweeping this away. He ran the first one really hard. As he found the gap, they should be able to get back for 2 and do in the end. It's good running by these two. Very, very good. All of a sudden, Haynes, who was 18 of 19, is now 28 of 22.
Yeah, that 6 first ball of the over, Haynes hit it, and you see the base of the Batman board there inside the ropes. There's a photographer in a bib, and he didn't know whether to catch it or get the photo of the ball coming towards him.
This is driven very, very crisply into extra cover. Fortunately, finds the field a dot ball. I must admit, I'd be running for cover. I'd be saving my equipment and running for cover.
Well, we hope he got a good photo because he didn't didn't catch the ball.
Haynes goes full. There's a appeal for LBW, but I think he's just got some sort of bat on it, or maybe outside the line. Given anyway, 95 for 1, big over, 10 off it, 1 ball to go. Goes wide. Montgomery will have to re-bowl this. 11 from it, 1 ball to go.
He obviously sensed that Haynes was going to come towards him and bowled it wide, obviously for a reason there. You'd imagine Matthew trying to bring about a stumping.
Yep, second guessing the batsman. Montgomery in. Haynes just works us down the ground. Brisk call of 2 soon as he hit it. I'm not sure there was ever 2 there, Jack Haynes. But anyway, great over for Notts. 97 for 1 after 11.
Yeah, 12 from that over. Montgomery, 3 overs, none for 24. Still good stuff from Matthew Montgomery in these tricky middle overs. Martin Anderson bowled the last over, went for 7. Looks as if he's interested in getting another over here. 9 to go. Lots have Muncie still on 51. I don't think he faced a ball in that over, did he?
No.
Haynes 29 from 25. He's galloped along. Will be Martin Anderson, who expect to open the batting for Derbyshire a little later on. Comes in to bowl to Haynes. He'll pull this out onto the leg side. A flat 1 bounce 4. Thought it was going to go all the way actually for 6. It was no more than about 4 or 5 feet high all the way out there, and then just dipped and hit the ground before the rope, and that will take the Notts score into 3 figures. 101 for 1, and it also brings up the 50 partnership, the second 50 partnership of the innings. And Haynes' contribution 33, Muncie 13. Jack Haynes will get 4. No, he won't. There's a fielder out there this time. The opening partnership, if you remember, Kyle, I said that Clark had scored 6 out of that opening partnership. All the rest that weren't extras belonged to Muncie, and in this one, Muncie's contribution only 13.
Yeah, tell you what, not many people would have seen that coming the way Muncie was striking it in the first power play.
102 for 1. We're in the 12th over of the innings here on BBC Radio Nottingham, and Martin Anderson with a wide-ish delivery that Muncie chops into the offside Madsen Fields, and that's Muncie's first run for a while. He's on 52 from 30. Not made note, but I wonder sort of how many he's scored in the last 5 overs. How many he's scored since the end of the power play? 103 for 1. Anderson bowls. Haynes, almost a golfer's tee shot, trying to belt it down the ground and missed it.
That's a big swing by Jack Haynes. That was coming towards us, Dave. If he got hold of that, that would have been a... He wasn't, put it this way, he wasn't trying to knock that for 1 or 2, was it? That was 6 or sticks.
Didn't get anything on it. Went through to Donald. Here's Anderson. Bowls now, and helped into the offside by Haynes. Needed it to skip on a little quicker than it did, and fielded out there on the rope by Caleb Jewell, the Tasmanian. 105 for one ball left in the 12th. Rate just dipping a little bit, it's just under 9 and over, but still okay, yeah, perfectly acceptable. Anderson bowls and whipped away onto the leg side for 4. That's a nice way to end the over. It takes Haynes to 40. He's absolutely rattling along at the moment. 12 from that over in the end. Martin Anderson looks aghast, but in truth it was just an almost waist high. It was a hip high leg side full toss, and even in my dotage I might have got a bat on that, Kyle. You never know. And with the field set, there was certainly a chance of a run or two. But Jack Haynes wasn't going to miss it, that's for certain. 4 runs, 109 for 1. Haynes 40 from 30.
Yeah, good batting, Jack Haynes. He's definitely had the majority of the strike in this partnership, but really motored along in the last couple of overs. I see Matthew Montgomery now, and this is Muncie's opportunity just to sort of look to swing away to the short boundary. So Matthew Montgomery to continue, and this is played on the leg side, all on the ground, just knocked on its head down to deep mid-wicket, where they jog through for a single, and almost casually Muncie says, well, over to you, Jack.
Almost a change in mindset from Muncie. I mean, he didn't, there was no high back lift. He wasn't looking to play a big expansive shot there, just dropped it in the space and ran.
Jack Haynes shuffles across, looks to go big, and has got every last bit of that into the Fox Road stand. That is a really, really big slog sweep by Jack Haynes. What a wonderful cricket shot that is. Matthew Montgomery goes for 6's second ball. That's a big, big, big 6.
I think it actually went in the gap between the Fox Road stand and the Larwood and Vose. A bounce or two into the car park. That's going to feel very, very nice, especially against a former teammate. The ball being shown to umpire Russ Warren at the far end. 116 for 1. Big blow from Haynes, who needs 4 for 50.
Montgomery in again to Haynes, who's helping this one out uppishly into deep mid-wicket. They're not going to be able to get back for a second there. 47 off 32. Haynes now 117 for 1. Muncie back on strike. Is he going to try and join the party? He is going to try and join the party, and he's not going to join the party as he hauls out to deep backward square. Well, Matthew Montgomery may be a little bit expensive this afternoon, but he picks up the wicket. Muncie, who didn't face a ball for quite some time, to be very honest with you, finally tries to join the party that Jack Haynes had started and hauls out to deep backward square.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a tame end in the eventual outcome. Faced 32 balls, 3 4s, 4 6s. Very entertaining knock from George Muncey. Caleb Jewell with a well-judged catch, safe pair of hands in the deep in front of the William Clark stand at deep backward square leg. And Matthew Montgomery has a wicket. 117 for 2 in the 13th, and Tom Moores on his way out. Tom Moores went to town at Derby in that losing cause. Best part of a week and a half or so ago. Made a quick fire 75. Made from 34 balls. He hit 7 6s actually in that innings. Aaron Donald had hit 8 in his 84. It was a real fiesta of 6 hitting that night.
Tom Moores off the back foot slashes this one out to deep extra, where they come through for a single. 118 for 2.
He'll be pleased to get a few as well, because since that innings against Derbyshire, Tom Moores has had I think it was a first baller against Durham last Sunday and only one against Warwickshire on Friday night.
This is off the back foot by Jack Haynes, down to long off for a single. So the end of Matthew Montgomery's spell, he finishes 1 for 34 in his 4 knots, or 119 for 2 after 13.
Good stuff from the former Notts man. One of the nicest fellas you could ever wish to meet, Matthew Montgomery. Now plying his trade with Derbyshire. It's one of those, I think, that not so reluctant to lose, but he leaves with everybody's best wishes when another county sort of offer you regular cricket in all formats. I think he perhaps stayed a year or two longer than he needed to have, and as I said earlier, he left with a county championship winners medal. Jack Morley back into the attack. His first over went for 12, 2 sixes in it. Be pleased that Munsey's not out there anymore. Haynes, though, a different proposition. Gets his 49th run, driving into the offside. 120 for 2 knots. They need 80 from 6 overs and 5 balls to reach 200. The rate has just dipped a little bit. Morley to go round the wicket. Moore's having taken a moment to take guard and have a look, and then drops it on the leg side. Now he's quick as a whippet, Tom Moores, and he's going to come back for 2. Safely gets back. Needed to be a much better throw than it actually was in the end. The ball eventually coming in, and the stumps splayed far and wide by an Aaron Donald, but Tom Moores was...
That was Tom Moores that clattered into the stumps.
Was it Tom Moores?
They're trying to get out the way of the ball.
So he's on to 3. That'll just get the blood flowing. A sharply sprinted 2. Morley bowls to him, short, and this is whipped away on the leg side. Didn't properly time it, gets a single. 123 for 2 now, Notts Outlaws put into bat by the visitors Derbyshire. Playing with the floodlights on. I don't think they're particularly needed, but they just sort of aid everybody's visibility, I guess, at the moment, with the odd dark cloud passing by as Haynes gets his 50, cutting this into the offside. Well played, Jack Haynes. Second 50 of the day. Prior to today, Notts had only had 2 50 scores in 5 matches, one by Munsey, one by Tom Moores, and they've already had 2 in 13 and a bit overs in this match. 124 for 2. Moores will work this on the leg side, and again he's gone quickly for the first one, and he turns and slips, and that potentially saved a really desperate dive at the other end when he was coming back for 2. I'm not absolutely certain he was favourite to get back there, but
no,
the fact he slipped meant it was irrelevant. They only got 125 for 2. Haynes back on strike on 50, goes across his stumps, and Morley saw him coming and bowls the widest wide of all wides, and that's the easiest decision of the lot. I think Morley thought he was coming again and just trying to bowl one well outside his reach. It was outside everybody's reach. 126 for 2. This is drilled back at a caught and bowled, and now Haynes passes 50 and goes straight away. Leathered it back to the bowler, who took a self-preservation caught and bowl, actually. If he hadn't got his hands in front of his body there, that would have left a nasty mark. Haynes out for 50 from 36 balls, 4 fours, 2 sixes, 126 for 3, and Derbyshire somehow now find themselves with 2 new bats at the crease.
Yeah, it's a good catch. Hit sharply by Jack Haynes. Just at a nice catchable height, straight back at the bowl and knee height. Bowls it fast, it's really sharp. So Jack Haynes really well played, but you've got to go now. Frustrating that 2 of Notts Outlaws batters have got in, done the hard work, and got out just before they can have some real fun. 126 for 3.
This is the end of the over. Benny Howell has been promoted up to number 5 in the order. Haynes out for an even 50. Munsey made 53. Always disappointing when a player goes so soon after reaching a landmark. You always fancy there's a few more there in the tank. Akif Jarvid to bowl from the far end, even though the board says it's Martin Anderson. It's not. It's the left armour. That'll be changed in a moment. 126 for 3.
Yep, Jarvid into the attack. Now I don't understand. This is a bit of a passage of play. If Jarvid can pick up 1 here, just try and stem the flow of runs. This ball is into Tom Moore's pads, and there's a run-out opportunity, but Jarvid didn't pick the ball up. It would have been tight. Probably fancy Tom Moores would have got back. Tom Moores ball into the pads, hit Tom Moores, rolled back out towards, or on the offside towards extra cover. Not quite sure Tom knew where the ball had gone. Decided to run. Benny Howell turned him down. And Jarvid couldn't quite pick it up in time to throw the stumps down. 126 for 3. Benny Howell can give it an absolute thump all over the place. So why he's been promoted in with only just over 5 overs remaining. Jarvid into Moores, who's swishing and missing at this, and it goes through to Nye Donald, dot ball.
Yeah, they'll have done a little bit of work on the danger that Tom Moores possesses after he blitzed the Derbyshire bowlers in the back end of that match at Derby. It always seemed as if it was going to be in a losing cause, but he hit it far and wide, hit everybody far and wide, and they'll have, I'm sure, studied a bit of film and worked on a plan or two just to keep Tom more quiet today.
Jarvid goes straight to Tom Moores, who's pulled this for 6. It's a lovely shot, Tom Moores. Beautiful. Jarvid goes short ball, and Tom Moores helps around the corner for 6.
I'm laughing because saw a shot there on the live stream of the Notts dugout, diving for cover, and it was actually Freddie McCann sat there. Whether he's due to come in next or not, I'm not sure, but it's Freddie McCann who threw it back on. He's all padded up, ready to go. Freddie came in the middle order on Friday evening, just when we were wondering if he'd perhaps got an injury or not, but they seem to be playing as a middle order player in this competition.
Jarvid in and beats Tom Moores for pace outside the off stump as well. Tom Moores throwing everything at that and just not getting contact on it. 132 for 3.
So Freddie McCann still to come. George Linder, who hit the winning runs the other night, still to come. Liam Patterson-White, Ollie Stone, Dylan Pennington and Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Not eyeing up something close to 200 here. Run rate of 9. Jarvid, 2 balls left in this over. This is the outside edge, and I think that's going to race away. It was well fielded there by Caleb Jewell. Keeps it to 1. So this over's gone .6.1. 1 ball left, 7 from it. And Benny Howell is taking guard. Jarvid, after this, will have 1 over left. The real danger bowler. Aitchison's got 2. Morley 2. Potts 2. Anderson 3. So more than enough overs in the tank. Gonna go spin again. Maybe Jarvid in, goes short to Benny Howell down the leg side, and he's got him. Great catch, Nye Donald diving to his left. And Notts go bang bang. Benny Howell's got a first ball and has got to go back. And Jarvid has done exactly what his captain asked, and that's to come in and get a wicket. And he's dismissed the dangerous Benny Howell.
Yeah, I think Notts have got to. I mean, we've only been playing with numbers, what we felt was possible after the first 10 overs. Whether there was a bit of kidology there from Benny Howell that he hadn't hit it, or he generally felt he hadn't hit it, but he hung around, didn't seem all that thrilled when he saw the umpire's finger go up. Very difficult to detect from the replay we've just seen whether it was the bat or brushed the thigh pad on the way down the leg side, but the umpire out there, Russell Warren, is one of the most experienced on the circuit these days, and he was in no doubt. So George Linder out there. Notts might have to reset their sights, make sure they get at least 180. There's 5 overs left. 47 from 5. We'll get them to 180. 67 from 5. Seems a tall order, but you never know. Tom Moore's on strike on 12. Martin Anderson in to bowl his 3rd over. This is turned away for a single by Moores. 2 lefties out there then. Moores and George Linder, the South African, who Finished with 29 not out on Friday evening, getting the winning runs in the final over against Warwickshire. That's his second score of 29 in this season's competition. That's his best in his 4 previous matches for Notts. Terrific record, vastly experienced. Over 250 matches in this format. South African international Martin Anderson to bowl to George Linder, short enough to be heaved away on the leg side. There was plenty of effort, but not much timing. Just gets a single. 135 for 4. Ball's gonna stray here as Derbyshire try and get it back to the bowler. Moores has 13 and he faced 10 balls, 1-6 in that personal tally. That's a ball that he can punch down the ground. Again, there'll only be a single. Matthew Montgomery doing the good work in the deep. One more. Really fancy. This is the meat and potatoes of the innings, isn't it? It's round about now whether Notts are going to fall well short of getting 180 or whether they're going to really kick on and push towards 200. Anderson bowls and the thickish outside edge goes for 4. Bit of fortune for Linder, and Notts will gobble that up all day long. 4 runs takes them to 140 for 4.
4 runs are 4 runs. They don't care how they come. As long as they do keep coming, you do feel wicket looks a good wicket, and with the firepower Derbyshire Falcons pack, I think they'd need to be up around the 180 mark.
Yeah, we'll talk about that obviously in more depth when we come back after the mid-innings interval. 140 for 4, up away on the leg side by Linder. The field's set so deep that there's no chance of anybody being able to catch it. 141 for 4. Not really mentioned Amrit Basra
No.
yet. He's been out there. He fielded magnificently at the County Grand Derby week last Friday. Took a catch or 2. There we go. And he's brought into play straight away. I was just beginning to sort of reflect on the fact that he was playing and he hadn't. I don't think he touched the ball yet. I don't think I've mentioned him before. It's a single, 142 for 4 at the end of the over. He fielded out in front of the bar in the burger van at Derby in last week's match, didn't he? And took a catch or 2, pulled off some brilliant stops, but he's been grossly underused. The ball's not gone anywhere near him this afternoon. 142 for 4 with 4 to go.
Yeah, Aitchison into the attack. 2 overs 27. Slightly expensive. And that is just down to the fact that Muncie fancied a little bit of what he had to dish down in his second over. It took him to all parts. The over went for 22. Tom Moore's on strike. He's 15 off 12. George Linder 6 off 3. So the plan here is pretty simple and straightforward. You've got a long off, sweeper, deep backward point, long on, and now what looks like going to be a deep mid wicket. They're changing it now. So if Tom Moores gets any ball remotely straight here, I'm sure Nia Donald will be absolutely livid. Field is set for exactly this. Wide bowling. Aitchison in, goes wide and goes for 6. That is an extraordinary cricket shot, Tom Moores. Wow, what a shot that is. Ben Aitchison has not bowled that bad a ball there, and Tom Moores has helicoptered that over backward point for 6. What a cricket shot. Wow.
I think it's just slightly in front of square and very nearly wiped a gentleman out on that little pathway on the Fox Road stand between the lower tier and the upper tier. Just wandering along, minding his own business. Probably got a nice glass of something refreshing, and it landed about 2 feet away from him.
Next one in, and this is a little bit fuller, not allowing Moores to get underneath it, although he did try. It goes through to Nia Donald, 148 for 4. Tom Moores now 21 of 14.
Yeah, the difference in the Nottinghamshire eventual tally between Tom Moores being there at the end and not is could be immense.
Aitchison, and this goes full, and Aitchison's saying there's a fingertip on that, and he's saying Linda should be out. He's still saying that as well. He's just saying, like, it's come off my fingertip. George Linda's out his crease. He should be run out. He's almost walking to say it's done. It should be given out, please. It's come off my hand. I'm telling you, it's come off my hand.
Well, Russell Warren didn't see it, or has not given it, or isn't going to give it, and it doesn't matter how much Derbyshire appeal. There's no TV umpire. There's not going to be any referral. They're going to ask the other umpire. Crowd booing because generally, if you ask and the umpire says no, but they've almost pushed him over. It's like the referee has said no and he's adamant. Obviously, the other umpire, Naeem Ashraf, not in a position to adjudicate at all. It's almost like they've pushed the football referee all the way, manhandled him all the way out of the penalty area, over to the over to the linesman, to the assistant ref, and said, "Well, did you see a handball in there or whatever?" That was a little unfortunate. It's happened to me in the dim and distant past when I've been bowling, and I've known I've got a fingernail on it, and I've known he's been well out of the crease, but the umpire can't see it and doesn't give it, and you've not got in this game any DRS, any referral opportunities, you're not going to get it.
No, Aitchison, Linda just pushes this into the offside. They run the first one hard and they'll get back for the second. So this is turning into a big over for the Outlaws. There's still 2 balls left as well.
Yeah, 150 up is the latest smattering of applause. 9 from this over already, 2 balls left. It would have been Tom Moore's run out.
Aitchison in, and Linda swinging this away. Deep extra cover comes running in and takes the catch. So Ben Aitchison gets his first of the afternoon. It's a good catch by Nick Potts there, running in at the deep extra cover boundary. And George Linda's got to go for 8. Couldn't quite replicate what he did on Friday night. Notts lose their 5th as 1-5-1 for 5.
Yeah, he should be a little happier now, Ben Aitchison, because had it been a run out, he wouldn't have got the wicket. It would have been Tom Moore's, yes, but he's instead got the wicket all for himself. Goes down as his wicket, as he was the bowler. Linda out. Final ball, or 1 ball to come in the 17th now. 151 for 5. They are going to need 10 and over from the last 3 to get to 180. And Liam Patterson-White has been sent out ahead of Freddie McCann. Another lefty. This Notts Outlaws side for this season's competition, packed full of lefties. Yeah. Well, I say packed full. What was the 6? Munsey, Moores, McCann, that's 3. Linda and Patterson-White, that's 5.
Yeah, a lot of left-handers. Here is Liam Patterson-White, who's pushing this down the ground from Ben Aitchison, and walk through for a single to finish the over. So that's 10 from that one. 1-5-2 for 5 at the end of 17. Beg your pardon, 5? Yeah, 1-5-2 for 5. So 17 overs gone. Notts asked to bat first this afternoon by Nye Donald. It's going to be Nick Potts to bowl the 18th.
Yeah, 3 to go. Liam Patterson-White will be on strike, having got a single. Final ball of the over. Potts has only bowled 2 overs, none for 11. Good stuff from Nick Potts. Bowled with plenty of pace early on. He's going to go round the wicket to Patterson-White. Earlier on, George Munsey made 53. Jack Haynes 50. Tom Moore's 3rd top scorer at the moment. He's 22, not out. So here's Potts round the wicket then. In to bowl, nice and full. Dug out well by Patterson-White. Madsen shies at the stumps. Had he hit, then Patterson-White could have just carried on running. Narrowly missed. He was sideways on, about 15-18 yards away, Madsen. Clean pick up, shy at the stumps. He had 1 stump, as I say, to aim aim at, because he was square of the wicket, and from everybody's reaction he was close, but not close enough. 153 for 5. Notts Outlaws, Derbyshire Falcons trying to restrict Notts in these last 3 overs. This ball is dragged down the ground to Ross Whiteley. Keeps them to 1. Sort of a sideways throw, not too dissimilar from Usman Tariq's bowling action there that we saw on Friday, the Pakistan international. No end of people asked me over the last 24 hours, is that action legal, Dave? Potts bowls slipped down the leg side, one for the over for height, but Liam Patterson-White's, I would imagine, a little disgruntled that it's not been called as a leg side wide. It went over he's a left-hander, it went over his right shoulder as he turned to try and hook it. Yeah.
No, I think Potter's very lucky there.
Yeah, Usman Tariq, extraordinary action, but it's been passed as legal. 154 for 5. Potts bowls now nice and full, played on the full toe of his bat by Patterson-White out to deep mid-wicket, where Matthew Montgomery does the fielding. 155 for 5. Derbyshire second in the group, courtesy of a better net run rate than 3 other sides, including Notts. Moore's on his shirt number 23. Drag this again out to deep mid-wicket to Montgomery. Moves to 24. 156 for 5, and this is good again from Nick Potts. Just preventing the boundaries here. Just keeping them to 1. The leg side field set deep and banging the ball in just short of a length to these 2 lefties. Patterson-White on strike now. He's 3 from 4. Potts bowls and he's taking pace off that. Well bowled Nick Potts. Bounced again before reaching Nye Donald. And that's the end of the over. 156 for 5. There's only 4 from that over. That's really good from Nick Potts. So 180 might be pushing it now for Notts, unless they can really finish here with a flourish.
Yeah.
Don't think it's Freddie Mercury on the mic in the ground, but some extraordinary noises emanating from our right. 2 overs left.
Say that again, Dave. All the noises under the sun. Not quite sure what's going on there.
Akif Javid's going to bowl out. This will be his 4th and final over. 2 for 16 for Akif.
2 for 16 so far in his 3. It's bowling to Tom Moores, who swings hard at this, and it goes through to Nye Donald, short ball. And I think Tom Moores is probably a little bit disappointed he hasn't got hold of that. Short boundary away to his right, the short leg side boundary, Smith Cooper stand that now cuts across the hallowed turf at Trent Bridge. That's for Derby and Derbyshire. There's a dot ball. Keith Jarvis from the pavilion end into Tom Moores, hammer down the ground. That'll be 4. Lovely shot, Tom Moores. Goodness me, he's hit that hard. He has absolutely hit that like a tracer bullet down the ground. He is a really strange batter to watch, but he's a joy to watch when he's in these type of form. 160 for 5. Cannot get 20 off the remaining 10 balls. 2 a ball gets them to a magic 180. Could really, you feel, be defendable if they do bowl well. Java goes pace off and goes out of Trent Bridge. Wow, that's big. And I don't think Tom Moores has got all of that as well. Slower ball into the wicket. Tom Moores sets himself and hammers his way into the leg side for 6. The over's gone 0, 4, 6, 10 from this, and Tom Moores is starting to cash in.
That's got to feel good, hasn't it, for Tom Moores? Really, yeah, as you say, there was a little bit more in the tank as well, I fancy, but it still went right to the very top of the Bridgeford Road stand. At deep mid-wicket, away for 6. 166 for 5. 9 balls left in the innings. Derbyshire desperate to try and put the brakes on. They'll be hoping that Moores just mistimes one straight up in the air.
Jarvid into Tom Moores, goes short, and this is slapped out in the gap for 4 more. I'm not sure this is the correct plan from Akeef Jarvid.
No.
You've got a massive boundary on the offside here, and you're bowling short balls into the wicket where, in all honesty, a miss hit from Tom Moores will take it for 6.
Yeah,
and he's setting himself up for that. Goodness me.
It was a little bit of a flourish, almost a one-legged hop as he played that. He's happy, Tom Moores, with the eventual outcome. Nye Donald has gone down then to address his bowler, address the game plan, and don't expect a similar approach from Akeef Jarvid here.
It looks like wide balls will follow. Jarvid in goes straight, and Tom Moores turns Liam Patterson wide down. Well, if that is a statement of an intent, it is pretty clear that he fancies whatever Jarvid's got to bowl at him next ball.
I don't know about that. Turning it down. 1 ball left in the over.
Yeah, that is interesting. Every run at this stage would have almost given Liam Patterson White a free swing at this. And here we go. Jarvid into Moores, who's hitting this down the ground, and it only goes for 1 anyway. So, in essence, Notts are 1 run shy of where they potentially could have been. So at the end of the 19th over, Notts are 171 for 5, and you feel probably should and will get to that magical 180 mark after being asked to bat first.
Yeah, I don't know if it's all that magical, but that would have been the target once they lost a couple more wickets than they would have been banking. Benny Howell going for 0 and George Linder for 8 in relatively quick succession. 1 over left, 171 for 5. The ball by Nick Potts, been impressed by Nick today. Nick Potts, 3 overs, none for 15. Round the wicket to Tom Moores. He's hit this up in the air and down the ground and straight into the hands of the fielder at long on, Ross Whiteley, and he doesn't spill many. And Tom Moores goes for 39. Cricket does sometimes come back and bite you. You turn down runs, and sometimes you live and die by the sword, and just fancy there's no need to turn down that single, but he's gone. It's a good knock anyway by Tom Moores. 39 from only 24 balls, 2 4s, 3 6s. Notts do get a 180. It's certainly been part of Tom Moores, and the 2 that made 50, Munsey and Haynes, that have got them there. So here comes Freddie McCann, coming in with just 5 balls left. Another left-hander, of course. Bowled 1 over as well on Friday evening and took 1 wicket for 3. We were a little surprised then he didn't get another over. Still lightly used in the T20 Blast. 14 matches only. 171 for 6. It's Potts to bowl to Freddie McCann. Slower ball, took the pace off. Goes through to Nye Donald on the bounce. And that's a result for the bowler and for Derbyshire. So no runs from the first 2 balls of this over, and Notts are still only on 171. Need 9 from 4 just to get a 180. Says he's stating the obvious. Liam Patterson White's been starved of the strike. He's at the other end. McCann yet to score. Potts bowls, and Freddie McCann hits it back to the bowler on the bounce. And that's 3 dots.
Potts has bowled beautifully. Just simple plan and executing it well goes slow balls into the wicket or really, really full Yorkers, making life quite difficult. Field set for that and executed exactly what he wants to bowl. Really, really good stuff.
Yeah, it's been very impressive. It comes again past the umpire's right shoulder, round the wicket, bouncer pulled away now then by McCann. It's gone for 6. Pretty sure it's gone for 6, but Akif Javid, there'll be questions I think in the Derbyshire camp as to why he's let that seemingly go through his hands, almost like a goalkeeper sticking his right hands or both hands above his right shoulder. He hasn't, it's gone straight through his hands and away for 6 runs. You see so many skillful athletic boundary fielders there. If they can't catch it, they parry it back into play and keep it to 1 or 2. He didn't either then. He didn't catch the ball. He didn't parry it back. 6 runs for McCann. Potts bowls. McCann away through the offside this time. That'll... it's landed on the old used wickets. It's still gone for 4. Just for a moment there, I thought it was going to pull up. And just suddenly we were singing Nick Potts' praises. And he's banged one in that's been pulled away and maybe should have been caught. Probably should have been caught. Gone for 6. And then he's given Freddie McCann the option to larrup one through the offside, a 1 bounce 4.
Yeah, really good batting, Freddie McCann. A little bit fortunate at the ball before, but nothing fortunate about this one. Great shot.
So they've got to 180, 1 ball left. Potts to McCann. And he's lifted this one up into the air. Wayne Madsen circling underneath it. Madsen drops it. You don't see that very often, and then he punches the ground in frustration and they come back for 2. Don't see that very often. Amit Basra was very, very close there to him. In fact, Wayne Madsen's gone over and he's just having a word with Amit Basra, just patting him on the back. I just wonder if he got in his eye line there, because one was running in from the fence, initially looking to catch it. One was running away from the circle, Madsen. Madsen got there, had 2 grabs at it, couldn't hold it. And meanwhile, Freddie McCann scampers back for a second to finish 12 not out from 5. It's very, very handy indeed. Liam Patterson-White 3 not out. They almost didn't want Liam to bat. Tom Moore's turned down a single to get him back on strike, and then he didn't get back on strike in the last over, and it's 183 for 6. Is that enough?
Could be. I think Derby will really be kicking themselves there. I think the last one where Madsen's dropped it, I think that's Basra's catch every day of the week. It's easier to run in than running over your shoulder. Take 2 runs off the score, and a couple balls before, Keith Jarvis has got to catch that one from Freddie McCann. You can take 10 runs off the score for that as well. So 183, Notts will be delighted with that, having been asked to bat first. Very defendable. The question will be is, how can they stop Nye Donald? Nye Donald gets off to a flyer. I'm not sure any score is big enough, but Notts will be very happy with scoring 183.
There's some other good players. Martin Anderson, Caleb Jewell, Wayne Madsen, and we know all about Matthew Montgomery and Ross Whiteley just on the innings that we've just seen. It's strange how George Munsey rattled to 40 and then in almost the same time then only reached 50 and then got out. He certainly lost all momentum once the power play had gone. Yeah,
he did. Just almost looked like he geared down a couple of times, didn't he? He went absolutely berserk in the power play, especially off the Ben Aitchison second over where he took him for 20 odd. And then just decided to play second fiddle to Jack Haynes a little bit. It's a bit of a strange one, but a good innings nonetheless. Got Notts off to the start that they would have really required with Joe Clark not firing at the moment.
Munsey 53, Haynes a very good 50 from 40 balls. Tom Moore's a punchy 39 towards the back end of the innings. 183 for 6, the eventual outcome. I think we're going to have a good game. Whatever happens here, Ewan. We'll be back underway in about 7 or 8 minutes' time, I guess. 184 is the Derbyshire target.
Welcome to East Midlands Airport. Or should we say, the easiest Midlands Airport. The airport at the heart of the UK, flying to over 70 destinations. The easier airport with faster check-in and security that gives you extra time to relax and getting last-minute shopping. The airport that gets the kids on board before they get bored. East Midlands Airport, the easiest way to get away. To book your next holiday, visit eastmidlandsairport.com.
3 losses from their first 6. There'll be then a temporary pause to the T20 competition whilst all the counties played 2 county championship matches, and then on Friday, I think it's Friday the 26th, it resumes. Notts have a match. All the sides have to travel somewhere to somebody outside their group. Notts have to travel down to Canterbury to face Kent on Friday the 26th as the first of their final batch of 6 matches. The fixtures have found them playing 4 matches at home and 2 away in the first 6, and then they'll be on the road for 4 matches in the second lot of 6. They'd really like to go into that at least with an even record. 3 wins, 3 losses is the best they can do, and of course if they do win today, there's even the chance that they could have snuck up to second place in the group by the end of the day. Players have taken to the field. Notts in their all green, the 2 Derbyshire openers out there in their light and dark blue colours, and Aaron Donald, former Glamorgan, and he had 1 season I think with Hampshire as well before moving to Derby a couple of years ago. Martin Anderson, former Middlesex player, out there with him. And victory target, as we've said, 184 on a pretty good wicket with plenty of pace in it, a sort of wicket that normally Dylan Pennington thrives on. He's got the ball in hand. It's very blustery and gusty out there as well. Not really leg spin bowling conditions, but we have got a leg spin bowler to describe the first over, Carl van Vollenhoven. 184 is your target.
Yep. Dylan Pennington to get us underway. It's a required run rate of just over 9s. Field set just sort of becoming the norm here. 1 out either side, 1 on the offside, 1 on the leg side. And here we go. Dylan Pennington running away from us, goes into the wicket, and Nye Donald hammers us away. And I think it's going to go. That is great work out there, Jack Haynes. Really, really good. He saved us. He saved a run. Really, really good work. Dylan Pennington sort of gone into the wicket, and Nye Donald has bunted it across on the leg side. Jack Haynes diving full stretch, saves it, and they get back for 3 in the end. So 3 for no loss.
Yeah, reminder that Donald likes playing against Notts. Last year 73 from 34 here, destructive innings, even more destructive at Derby a couple of weeks ago, 84 from 31 balls.
Pennington in to Anderson, who's playing outside the off stump and goes through to Tom Moores. No run, slip in place with Liam Patterson-White. Yep, he was absolutely a joy to watch, I must be said. I thought he batted beautifully a week or so ago in Derby. They were extraordinary, this opening partnership. Very different innings from Martin Anderson, but he also got his half centuries. Zinnia walks across the stumps, and I've got no idea how that's not bowled him. Looking to take on the short boundary, and that can't have missed off stump by much at all. Goodness me, that must have been close. So, I
think it brushed his thigh pad or his shirt round about the waist area. Just deflected it away from leg stump.
Mighty close to bowling him. So 3 for no loss. Pennington in again, goes full, and this time does disturb the furniture. There you go, Notts get the breakthrough. Anderson's got to go for a globe. It's 3 for no loss. It was 3 for 1, I beg your pardon. That's a big wicket. Anderson usually steadies the innings, bats around Nye Donald, gets him on strike, plays some lovely cricket shots, and he's got to go without disturbing the scorers.
Yeah, 3-ball duck for Martin Anderson. Just reflecting back a week ago, of course, Durham here. First ball of the Durham innings. Dylan Pennington had Jordan Clark caught behind. No, Graham Clark caught behind. Jordan's brother, of course, Graham Clark caught behind. And again, he's made a real impact right from the very start. A couple of stumps knocked out of the ground. Great sight for a fast bowler. Did mention that both him and Stone and Mo Ali would enjoy bowling on here, and there's no finer sight, is there, for a quick bowler, and he loves a celebration as well. Dylan Pennington. That's his 6th wicket in this season's competition. Mo Ali is the leading wicket taker, by the way, with 9 for Notts. Newman is the left-handed Tasmanian. Caleb Jewell coming in at number 3 in the order, coming in a lot earlier than probably he would have desired, but back home in Australia generally opens the batting in the short format, so no stranger to being out there in the first over.
Yep. Very, very dangerous players. Pennington into Jewell, who's pushing this out to the offside. And they come through for a single. It was uppish. If there was a backward point in the ring, he would have gobbled that one up.
Dylan Pennington hobbling. This isn't good news. In fact, he's sort of assuring everybody he's okay and making his... He's just stopped to rub his left knee again. Don't know what happened, but he certainly doesn't think it's anything that he needs to go off and have a little bit of treatment. He's hobbled his way back to his mark. He's had a word or two with Ollie Stone, who inquired how he is, and he's now contemplating what he's going to do, what he's going to bowl to Nye Donald.
So Pennington wearing the number 18 into Donald, who's playing this off the back foot to Freddie McCann, who misfields it. And that's a little bit untidy and will be a little bit frustrating, which means it's 5 off the first and the wicket for Pennington, and not after the perfect start.
Yeah, it also means that Donald, gifted a single there, will be on strike. But what a delivery it was to bowl Martin Anderson. An explosion of stumps coming out of the ground at the other end. It's a great start for Notts. 184 the target. It is going to be pace on right from the off with Ollie Stone. Of course, he went for 32 in the match at Derby, and that's 32 in 1 over. And they were all hit by the man who's at the other end, more than 22 yards away, but Stone right back at the end of his mark. In fact, he's outside the 30-yard discs. So at the moment, they're about 55 yards apart from each other. They'll get a lot closer as Stone comes in to bowl to Donald now, and he's hit this one crisply to deep mid-wicket. Should comfortably be able to come back for 2 runs as Liam Patterson-White moves round and does the fielding. 2 from the first ball. Stone bowled to Donald, 7 for 1. Half an hour of Nye Donald mayhem, and Derbyshire Falcons will win this. Another couple of wickets in the power play, and you'd maybe say Notts are favourites. There's Stone. Donald on 6. Stone bowls to him now, and over the offside and away for 4. Perhaps gone a little early, but I don't think Jack Haynes, quick as he is going to get there, and he isn't. It's gone for 4. He likes a bit of pace on the ball, does Nye Donald. Don't think he's a slouch against the slower bowlers either way, but when there's pace on the ball that he can work with, he can just push his arms through the ball, go really, really hard at them. Stone's gone for 6 from his first 2 balls. 11 for 1, Derbyshire Falcons. Ollie Stone bowls Donald across his stumps, and then he's helped this down to long leg and all the way for 6 into the front row of the Radcliffe Road stand. The unorthodox also serving Nye Donald well. Lovely shot. Helping it away there. This over has incrementally got bigger. 2, then 4, then 6. I don't think he's going to hit this one for 8, but you never know. If anybody can hit an 8 in the modern game, it's Nye Donald.
Yeah, really good batting by Nye Donald. Really, really good.
Stone none for 12, 3 balls. What has he got by way of a comeback? Oliver Stone bowls. Nye Donald hits it back past him along the ground. He's not even running, Nye Donald. He's not even running. Just wondered if that was a push down the ground maybe for 2, but he wasn't even running. He knew he'd leathered it. He'd laced it for 4 more.
Wow. What timing that is by Nye Donald. Slightly over pitched, and it's just a punch, Dave. It's just a punch down the ground.
He just gently jogged down there, didn't he? He knew it had gone for 4. 21 without loss. Notts got 16 from Their second over. 16 already from 4 in this one, and he's hit that one too hard. Hitting it straight to not skipper Joe Clark at a wideish mid-off position. A precious dot. 2, 4, 6, 4, 0, 4 dot. 21 for 1. Wonder what Joe Clark has got up his sleeve for the next over, whether it will be another one from Pennington, whether Mo Ali will get an over, or, as we have seen, George Linder has bowled in most of the matches in the power play. Here's Stone in again. Bowls. Oh, I think that's nutmegged him. I think that's gone straight through Nye Donald's legs and taken by Tom Moores, which was a good effort from the keeper because he can't have seen much of that. Pretty sure it's nutmegged him. Anyway, it was going down the leg side, not a wide, because it went through his legs. 21 for 1, so 16 from the over, and we are neck and neck with where the home side were, 21 after 2 overs.
Yeah, exactly right. Derbyshire 1 wicket worse off than the Outlaws were. This is just when George Munsey started to go berserk. So Muhammad Ali brought into the attack, and the Rocky theme song is being played for those of you watch the movie. I'm sure everybody has.
I haven't.
To be honest with you, I also haven't watched it. Muhammad Ali. Caleb Jewell awaits. Ali, who wears the 14, comes in and has Caleb Jewell defending off the back foot, no run, 21 for no loss. Not his leading wicket taker, as Dave mentioned earlier. The Pakistan international. Been absolutely superb this year, really has. Bowling at the death, bowling at the start of the over, beg your pardon, start of the innings.
Yeah, he's taken at least 1 wicket in every match so far. Best figures 3 for 27, which he got here against Warwickshire on Friday.
Yeah, it was really pumped up. Saw some big celebrations from Mo Ali. Are we going to see some tonight? Caleb Jewell's walked across the stumps and Freddie McCann can't quite get there. That is an extraordinary cricket shot from Caleb Jewell, who's walked across the stumps and sort of just French cricket shots at it over fine leg for 4. Not your conventional lap sweep at all. And what a way to get off your mark. Goodness me, Dave.
Fabulous shot. When have you ever played French cricket?
Oh, Boonier, little.
Did you play as a littler?
Littler. What a game, French cricket. It wasn't very good. People just kept getting me on the shin. That's so you're not allowed all. Caught 1 out, 1 bounce. Great game. That's a phenomenal cricket shot. Caleb Jewell, he's 5 off 3. The boundaries just keep coming here for Derbyshire. 25 for 1. How does Mo Ali reply? Very, very well. Goes into the wicket, and he's got Caleb Jewell defending off the back foot into covers where Benny Howell does the fielding. No run.
Frightened the pink pigeon off. The white pigeon.
Yeah.
Pink, now that would be extraordinary. The white pigeon that we often have here was just pecking at some fresh seed there, and got alarmed and took flight. It's disappeared. It's gone. 25 for 1.
Duckworth Lewis says that obviously going to be fine, but use it as like a sort of a guide and how to go about your run chase. They're just 2 runs ahead. Mo Ali in, and this is an inside edge from Caleb Jewell, who advanced down the wicket. And you can say what you want, fortune favours the brave. Maybe he's lucky, but an inside edge goes away for 4, and that will be the second boundary of the over. Thick inside edge. George Lind had absolutely no chance at short fine leg, and that goes for 4.
Second boundary in the over. Mo Ali looking extremely disgruntled with life at the moment. It's part of the lot of a new ball bowler in the power play. Likely to go round the park. You've got no protection out in the deep, or very little.
Yep. Very unlucky there. Mo Ali's come back very well, and I think that has hit Caleb Jewell on the helmet. I'm not sure, but umpires just looking at each other. It hasn't hit him on the helmet. So it's come off the bat and gone out to deep backward point where they come through for a single. 30 for 1, 1 ball remaining. Obviously it's customary, isn't it, that if it did, physios would have been on to check Caleb Jewell out. We saw a nasty blow the last time these two played against each other where Keith Jarvid struck Tom Moores. Obviously Tom was okay in the end. Brings Nye Donald, he's 20 off 8. Back onto strike. And he's going to go on the lap and he's nicked it and he's gone. That's a huge wicket. And look at that from Muhammad Ali. He's got the big fish, he's got the danger man. Nye Donald went to lap it. Muhammad Ali has followed him and then Nye Donald just opens the face of the bat. It catches the outside edge and Tom Moores takes a diving catch. And Derbyshire lose their in-form batter, their danger man. And they lose their second. It's 30 for 2 at the end of 3.
Donald out for 20, faced 9 balls, 2 fours and a 6 for Nye Donald. He won't have been out caught very often from a ball that was 4 feet away from the off stump. It was so wide and he followed it all the way, trying to play the scoop. Just got a bottom edge on it and it's gone through, and that's actually a milestone catch for Tom Moores. It's his 16th catch for Notts Outlaws in T20 cricket and makes him puts him at the top of the pile for wicket keepers. Chris Reed, who was on the ground today as the head coach of Lancashire Thunder earlier, he took 59 catches, so they've been neck and neck since Friday. But now Tom Moores, in his 130th appearance, takes his 60th catch with the gloves on. There you are, there's a cute one for you as Pennington starts a new over, bowling to Caleb Jewell, pushes it into the offside. That's a real Anaraki stat for you, but
it's a lovely little stat.
More catches in T20 Blast than Chris Reed, so most as a wicket keeper. The likes of Samit Patel and Stephen Mullaney in the hundreds, if memory serves, in the outfield. Strange how not so many have gone to the keepers. This is pulled away on the leg side by Jewell. He'll come back for 2. Haynes with the throw in towards Tom Moores. Been interesting if had been a direct hit. Good work again in the deep from Jack Haynes. 32 for 2. Start of the 4th. That was the wicket, I think, that Notts above all others would have put a high price on, but they said in the interval, didn't they? They shouldn't just underestimate what Caleb Jewell and Wayne Madsen and co can do. Pennington to bowl, my word, this is glorious from Jewell out onto the offside. Where's that going to land? I'll tell you where that's going to land. That's in the bit that the ground staff don't mow. That's gone right out over deep extra cover for 6.
That is a fantastic cricket shot, Caleb Jewell. Lofted over extra cover for half a dozen. Gorgeous. Hold the pose as long as you can. Get the photographers to snap a photo of that. Wow, what a shot.
He missed out after both Donald and Anderson got half centuries at Derby. Caleb Jewell came and went quickly. Can he be the man today? He's deflected this to short fine. Now they're both at the same end, and Linda optimistically tries to hit the stumps from 60 yards away at the far end, but Wayne Madsen apologising to Caleb Jewell. They were suddenly both at this end. Jewell had played it to short fine. Madsen had come, and whether Jewell hadn't wanted to come or I hadn't heard the call. Just looking at Linda, he was holding his left shoulder there as if he's got a few aches and pains. He's got a couple of weeks off before his next match. Let's hope he can bowl his 4 overs today. 39 for 2. Got a single. Jewell on to 19. Madsen now down to the business end for the first time. The crouching familiar stance of Wayne Madsen, and then the equally familiar flick away to leg for a single. Gets him up and running. 40 for 2. Notts Outlaws put into bat, made 183 for 6. Half centuries for Munsey and Haynes. Tom Moores made 39. Here comes Pennington. Jewell on 19, and he's helped this out towards Haynes. Oh, it's going to fall shy of Jack Haynes. So that's a little unfortunate that he didn't get hold of that one. Otherwise, it was arrowing in straight towards Jack Haynes. End of the over, 41 for 2 after 4.
Yep, that's well bowled. That by Pennington. I know he got hit for a 6 in that over, but that was an absolutely glorious shot. Not a bad ball at all. So 41 for 2 at the same stage. Notts were 45 for no loss. So evens. If you want fairly close and similar. You see George Linder here, the South African international. And I can tell you, Wayne Madsen will be having a look at that sweep boundary. Prolific sweeper of the borders, Wayne Madsen. Caleb Jewell on strike there. Tasmanian, overseas to overseas here. South African to Australian. George Linder, very experienced campaigners in and driven down the ground back to George Linder firmly, and Linder does the fielding off his bowling, no run. So nice start. We saw a little bit of spin earlier. Montgomery got it to turn a little bit. Linder get it to spin. Caleb Jewell does like playing his shots, so Linder in, goes full, and this is carved away. A full toss, a little bit of a freebie really for Caleb Jewell to get hold of, and that's exactly what he's done. Boundary off the second ball of the over, 45 for 2, and it's just prompted a change in attack for George Linder. He's going to come around the wicket now, left arm around.
Poor ball that really, he shouldn't be bowling. Full tosses a foot above the ground outside off stump.
No, it's a very poor ball. Linder in, and this is short and wide, and this is cut away and misfield by Jack Haynes allows them to get through for a single. They've run well between the wickets, but they've most certainly taken their chances, because if Jack Haynes picks that up cleanly and a good throw, and I tell you what, I think Wayne Madsen's in serious trouble there.
I think it was further out of Jack Haynes' reach than it looks from here.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure he could have done a deal else.
Brings Wayne Madsen on to strike. He's only faced one ball. Linder into Madsen, who sweeps and sweeps for 4. Could have bet your house on that, couldn't you? So Wayne Madsen sweeps so well. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would have mid-off up in the circle and deep backward square and cow corner out, which is exactly what they're doing now. That's all he's going to do. Wayne Madsen now will probably try the reverse sweep or the normal sweep again. Just don't toss it up and let him run down the wicket, George.
Have you tried the analysis game yet? Have you, you applied for a role?
Not yet. Very likely reverse sweep or normal sweep. Well bowled. Well bowled, George Linder. Into the wicket, fast and flat. Takes the sweep out the equation completely.
Does beg the question, though, if you knew exactly where he was going to hit it, where the gap was, why it wasn't picked up by some of those that should not need the wicket.
Linder in, reverse sweep, over. This is how he plays spin. Sweep and reverse sweep. He's just so prolific at it. And that's a big over for the Falcons. It brings up their 50 at the same stage. Notts were 50 for 1, so 9 from that one. 2 4s coming off the bat of Wayne Madsen. Both the conventional broom and the reverse broom. 54 for 2. Beg your pardon, 54 for 2 that is now.
Notts had 2 players who reached 50. Derbyshire probably will need something similar. That's also had a 39 from Tom Moores. So 1 over left in the power play. It is going to be Mo Ali, who's got the got the first wicket to fall, I beg your pardon, that of Nye Donald. Switches ends, coming in from the pavilion end to the bowl to the left-handed Caleb Jewell, who's hit this one up in the air, and he's got another wicket here. 2 fielders going for it, but there was a really good shout mine from Liam Patterson-White, and he pouches it. Muncie getting out of the way, and Mo Ali's got another one, and Caleb Jewell has to go for 25, and 2 big scalps picked up by Mo Ali, and that's 54 for 3. Caleb Jewell out for 25. Of caught by Liam Patterson-White in the covers. It was just a skyer, really, and there were a couple of fielders that could have taken it. I just want to check, Kyle. I have a funny feeling Mo Ali got rid of Nye Donald, the final ball of his first. In fact, yes, it's up on the screen there. I was already onto that. It's just come up on the screen. Mo Ali hat-trick ball there. Just
great spot. Great spot.
I was just thinking that there has famously over the years been one or two hat-tricks that have gone sort of unnoticed until a little later in either commentary boxes or indeed out in the middle, where somebody's had 2 in 2 and then come back later on, and it's sort of not been remembered by anybody until later on. But Matthew Montgomery, he won't want to be the hat-trick victim on his return to his home ground. Here's Mo Ali in from the far end, hat-trick ball driven into the offside, no run, fielded by Munsey. 54 for 3.
We saw a hat-trick here last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
Notts youngster taking a 5-wicket haul along with a hat-trick.
Did you play against him yesterday?
I did. He batted quite well.
Farhan.
Farhan played. Yeah.
And brother Rehan came down to watch him.
He did. He's playing for Leicestershire today.
54 for 3, the Falcons. Matthew Montgomery in at 5. First ball pushed into the covers, and he's another one who likes to improvise as well and gets 4 runs. Good work, Benny Howell, putting the dive in. I think the ball was already destined to reach the fence. Nicely played by Matthew Montgomery. You've seen a lot of Wayne Madsen play. I've seen a lot of Matthew Montgomery play. I should have predicted that he was going to do that, because that's one of his shots. Goes away for 4. Did you play with Monty in South Africa?
Played against Monty in South Africa. Never with him. Yeah, phenomenal cricketer.
58 for 3. 3 balls left in the power play. Derbyshire just about where Notts were, but lost the 3 wickets now. Oh, that's glorious. Out into the offside, though. Is it? Haynes is there. Takes the catch. Not quite as glorious as I first thought. Wonderful catch by Jack Haynes, running round on the boundary to take it. And a wonderful, wonderful celebration again from Mo Ali. 2 wickets in the over. And Nottinghamshire with the best of the local rivalry at the moment. Wonderful catch from Haynes. Went high, went out into the deep, and Jack Haynes running round. The live stream there doesn't tell you how much ground he had to make up actually to get into that position to take the catch. You've certainly got 2 parts of that, haven't you? It's getting to the ball and your safe hands and all the rest of it, but it's what your feet do first that's maybe even more important. You've got to get there to get yourself into a good position. Montgomery out for 4, caught Haynes, bowled Ali, and Derbyshire 58 for 4, still in the 6th over.
Yeah, that's a big wicket. This is a big moment in the game. We saw it earlier, didn't we? Saw Charlie Knott completely change the game when she took 3 wickets in and over. Mo Ali has blown this game wide open by taking 2. He's still got 2 balls to go. 3 for 13 so far. What an over this is turning out to be.
Ross Whiteley then on strike. Left-hander. Mo Ali bowls to a bouncer. Ducks underneath it. Sharp delivery. You could hear the crowd there gasp, seeing the pace of that one. 58 for 4. Ross Whiteley has something on his CV that very, very, very few cricketers have. He hit 6 sixes in an over in this competition a few years ago. Not been done too many times at all in any form of the game. Of course, only twice in first-class cricket. Sir Garfield Sobers and Ravi Shastri. Not been done many times in other formats. Herschel Gibbs for 1 as strikes Whiteley on the pad. Mo Ali gallops down, but so too does Madsen to get home for the leg by. 59 for 4 after 6. And the power play comes to an end, and at the same stage Notts were also on 59, but that's a terrific over from Mo Ali, who's now got 3 wickets to his name. Terrific stuff from Mo Ali. Good calling from Liam Patterson-White to take the catch to get rid of Caleb Jewell. And another catch in the deep from Jack Haynes. Mo Ali, 2 overs, 3 for 13. You'll have a little bit of that, won't you? That's terrific stuff from him.
Yeah, brilliant bowling, brilliant bowling. Benny Howell introduced into the attack now. He'll be bowling all his change-ups and various balls. What a celebration that is from Mo Ali. Standing like a statue, arms raised to the gods. Beautiful stuff.
Second match running, of course, that he's got 3 wickets. 3 for 27 he got on Friday night. So every chance he could go on and better that one way or another.
Howell in, and this is carved off. And it's a misfield from Mo Ali, and that's going to go for 4. So that will be frustrating.
Yeah. You can add 4 onto his bowling figures for that, because he's just palmed it away for 4. Crikey.
Yeah. And that is very, very soft. Thick outside edge by Ross Whiteley, and Mo Ali dives, goes down in instalments really, and parries this one into the goals. This one pushed into extra cover by Ross Whiteley.
Yeah, if it's somebody you don't want to give too much encouragement to, it's Ross Whiteley.
Yeah, he certainly can get hold of a few. This one helped down the leg side, and I fancy this is probably going to trickle away for 4 more, and does. So this over's gone for 8 already. Very lucky misfield that's gone for 4, and then one down the leg side that Ross Whiteley's helped on its way. So Derbyshire keeping up with the scoring, that is for sure.
There weren't many fielders closer than you and I to be able to cut that one off.
Nope. The next one just helped into the leg side to Liam Patterson-White, who'll do the fielding. So already 9 from this with 2 balls to go.
Noticing that Ben Martindale is on the field as a sub-fielder down below us. So just wonder. I can see Dylan Pennington. He was the one rubbing his knee. We also had George Linder rubbing his shoulder for a while.
Can't actually see George Linder.
No, I can't either. I wonder if he's the one just taking a moment.
Howell into Madsen, who's just pushing this into the leg side. Jack Haynes will run in and do the fielding. Good work. 10 from the over. 69 for 4. The run rate at 10's the required run rate. 8. Just over 8.5. So, said Derby well up with the run rate. Just wickets is the problem. This is hammered into the offside, where Jack Haynes has fielded this in probably not the most conventional way, falling forward to stop the ball, but nonetheless he does what he's required to do, and that will stop it. So 11 come from that. It's 70 for 4 after 7.
Yeah, still to come. Amrit Basra, Nick Potts, Ben Aitchison, Jack Morley and Akif Jarvid. 70 for 4 after 7. Going to be it's going to be Ollie Stone from the pavilion end. Coming back for his second over. First went for 16. Well, it's going to be bowling to Ross Whiteley, and that shorter leg side fence will be a tantalising option for Ross Whiteley. If Stone doesn't get it right, he's in now and bowls, and instead it's pushed in the offside.
Yeah, good work there from Ross Whiteley. Freddie McCann, the bright green shoes on down there, does the fielding. Another one with the luminous footwear, luminous transportation out there, Dave.
Ricky Vessels started that really. He was the first one here to wear the luminous lime green. There is Stone. In past umpire Warren, down the leg side, taken by Tom Moores. Did it brush anything? It's not been given as a wide.
Must have brushed something.
Pace off, I think, from Ollie Stone. Either way, gets a precious dot ball. 71 for 4. Derbyshire. Notts didn't have a good 8th over themselves at the end of this over. They were only on 73. Stone bowls now to Madsen. Just took the pace off, but it was short of a length, so it's just paddled away behind square on the leg side out to Liam Patterson-White, who we haven't seen bowling yet. Would imagine that he'll be into the attack before long. In fact, on Friday, I don't think he came in until, I think it was the 11th over, wasn't it? He came on, something like that. 72 for 4. Whiteley back on strike. Both Derbyshire batters on 11. Madsen 11 from 7, Whiteley 11 from 8. Mo Ali has been hidden down at the long leg and just told to go right back on the fence as Stone bowls now, and Whiteley nudges it down the ground for a single. Whiteley, former Worcestershire player, and he had a brief stint, I think, with Sussex as well.
No, George Linder is on the ground. George Linder's now at mid-on, so I've got no idea who's gone off. So George Linder's at mid-off. Let me do some digging for you.
Here comes Stone. Ball's now. Madsen hits this in the air, cries a catch, but it's not going to reach Freddie McCann on the full. One more to the tally, 74 for 4.
Munsey's not on the ground.
He has been out there. Certainly the catch that Liam Patterson-White caught, which wasn't too long ago. Come back to it. Stone bowls now. Bouncer over the arch back of Whiteley through to Moores. End of the 8th, 74 for 4. Derbyshire 1 run ahead. Couple of wickets worse off. The catch that Liam Patterson-White took off Caleb Jewell in the 6th over, and we're only now at the end of the 8th. He was coming in to catch it as well, and Patterson-White yelled and he backed out. So he was certainly on the wicket, on the pitch a couple of overs ago. So he's only recently gone off. 74 for 4. It's going to be George Linder to get a second over.
And I quite like this field. That's the first thing I saw. So Ben Martindale, who was on his way down to long on, has just been caught into the ring. So he's got a deep backward point to stop the reverse sweep. A sweeper because Madsen's good over extra cover. Deep backward square and a cow corner, as well as a long on. So it's good bowling. And then Madsen just off the back foot plays this into the leg side. 75 for 4 now. 109 runs required off 71 deliveries. So the Outlaws very much in charge of this. Linder back to left arm over to Ross Whiteley, the left-hander. He's in, gathers right. Whiteley on the sweep, sweeps it round the corner, and Freddie McCann does the fielding.
Yeah, this pair so dangerous. Madsen won't waste too many opportunities. He'll pretty much score off every ball. Whiteley does have the firepower to clear the ropes, but a lot of that top order destructive hitting has already been dismissed.
Linder in, Madsen sweeps and sweeps straight to deep backward square, where Benny Howe, probably one of Notts' best, if not Notts' best fielder, does the fielding. No run. I mean 1 run. 77 for 4 now. Linder 3 singles off 3 balls. Field spread deep on the leg side. Ross Whiteley, left-hander. Big boundary on the leg side. Sweeps, and this will also only be a single. So 4 singles. Singles aren't going to hurt Notts here. Derby need just over 9s now if they're going to leave Trent Bridge with the bragging rights and all 4 points. If Notts win this evening, it will be 3 wins in a row. This is short and wide outside the off stump, and that will be 4 singles in a row, 5 singles in a row. So 79 for 4. Madsen 15, Whiteley 14, and a little bit of a lull. This is perfect for Notts. This is all they would want, just to make life really, really difficult for Derby. Make boundaries hard to come by. 105 required of 67. Last ball of the over. And this is swept away. And this is going to go all the way. So can't get out the over, can George Linder. And all of a sudden, an over that was looking really good goes for 11. George Linder furious with himself. Takes the jersey from the umpire and almost hits it against his leg in frustration. 85 for 4 after 9.
Yeah, that'll be the concern for Notts. Let them get a singular ball until there's the opportunity to try and find the ropes. Madsen will generally play it with orthodox, conventional shots. Whiteley, with the power, with the aggression, can clear the ropes as we saw there, and suddenly an over that's seemingly petering out. Singular ball goes for 11. Going to be Ollie Stone to bowl the 10th over, the midpoint, 85 for 4. Here comes Stone to bowl to Madsen, tucks this away down to long leg. Now then, can they? No, they don't even seriously contemplate coming back for 2. Good work by Patterson White, 86 for 4. So Derbyshire will be, whatever happens, they'll be ahead in terms of runs at the halfway stage. Notts were 85 for, well, they were still 85 for 1, weren't they, once he got out. It was the second out, 117 for 2. And Stone bowling, driven crisply by Whiteley for 4. Slams it down the ground. The only way it wouldn't go for 4 is if it hit Wayne Madsen, the non-striker, who had to very quickly adjust and get out of the line of fire.
Yeah, Wayne Madsen's done really well not to get hit there. That was struck fiercely. It took evasive action, and in the end, let it nutmeg him for 4.
90 for 4. 5 from the first 2 balls in this over. Whiteley on the charge. Stone bowls. Hit him in front, surely. LBW shout. Russell Warren's not going to give it, I don't think. He's had a long look. Ollie Stone ran down celebrating, and two human beings with a different viewpoint, shall we say. Ollie Stone felt that was full and plumb and out. Umpire Russell Warren, from his stationary position right behind the arms with the best view in the house, says not out.
I thought that was very, very close.
They took a leg by the way. It was Whiteley pinned close to being in front, but not close enough. Stone in again. Bowls. Madsen now hit on the pad, and it runs out onto the offside for a single. Fielded by Howell. Is that another leg by? Yes, it is. Back-to-back leg buys, but the run's still coming. That's 7 from 4 in this over, after 11 from the last. So the required run rate just dipped under 9.
Still yet to see Patterson White. To find that a little bit surprising.
Can't all bowl, as they say. Here's Stone in again and past or under the bat, really. Very full length bowled by Ollie Stone. About 9 or 10 inches outside the off stump, and you could see what Ross Whiteley was trying to do, open the face and just guide it down towards third, hoping to get it beyond Dylan Pennington, who's up inside the ring. Just trying to angle the bat like that. He missed the most important element, that was making contact with the ball. Stone in again, bowls, full toss, hit, pummeled down the ground. Ben Martindale trying to get underneath it. Martindale with a catch. Subfielder takes a catch, and the power hitting Ross Whiteley goes for 24, and Ollie Stone will enjoy that. Final ball of the 10th over, and Derbyshire lose their 5th, 92 for 5. Ross Whiteley caught by the sub Ben Martindale right on the long off fence from the bowling of Ollie Stone. 92 for 5.
Yeah, low full toss from Ollie Stone, and hit really, really high by Ross Whiteley. As soon as it left his bat, I thought that's sailing away, and then I looked underneath, and Ben Martindale was setting himself underneath that. Never in a million years thought he would drop that. He's a fantastic, fantastic fielder, and that's a big wicket. He is a dangerous player. 92 for 4.
In general terms, not just Notts, not just this match, whatever, but in general terms, I always love it when a sub comes on and does something. Obviously, in most cases, I mean, sometimes it's a youngster and they're just delighted to be out there fielding. In most cases, the players who are in the squad, and they're a little disappointed to be told at the toss, sorry, you're not playing today. I love it when a sub gets involved. Here's Patterson White.
Patterson White to Madsen, who is just playing this into the leg side, and it's just being stranded a little bit, isn't he? He's on 17 off 14. No one's really stayed with him, but he hasn't really, besides the one over of George Linder, been able to get going. Basra, the new batter, in. Very dangerous player.
Yeah, product of the South Asian Cricket Academy.
This is in, and Tom Moores, I think, potentially has missed the stumping.
I think it hit the pads of Basra. I don't think it ever went all the way through to Tom Moores.
Basra waiting as Patterson White slow gather in, and this is being pushed down the ground. And they trot through for a single.
Of course, the flip of that, of course, is when a sub comes on. What's a player? Say in a county championship match, you've toiled away for a couple of hours trying to get an opening, and sub comes on and spills a catch.
Madsen sweeping this out to deep mid-wicket. It will only be a single. Yeah, it can happen, can't it?
You've done a bit of that, haven't you?
I have, I've done a bit of...
I won't say drop fielding. You fielded at Derby for Nottinghamshire on that hot day when
it was
Mead and Duckett put 200 or 300 or 400 on, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was stinking hot. Basra goes reverse sweep. It goes right over Tom Moores. Mo Ali will do the chasing and will pull it in. And they'll only get back for 2. So Basra just gets on the reverse sweep and goes high and hands them over Tom Moores, and they get back for 2. Yeah, I did. It was very, very hot. Patterson ran in, bowled really, really well, didn't they? Dane and James.
They both played, did they?
They both played. Patterson White in, and Basra off the back foot, carves us into the offside. They ran the first one out, they won't get back. Not won that in the end. Really, really good game of cricket that was. Into the 11th over, Derby 98 for 5. The same stage, Notts were 97 for 1.
When would that have been then?
2022.
2022. Duckett got a double 100 and Mead, I think, 197.
They batted for ages.
300 and plenty on. 98 for 5 in this match. 11 overs have gone. The Falcons, as it says on the live stream, those of you watching the pictures, 86 required from 9 overs, or 54 balls if you prefer. 5 wickets in hand. Wayne Madsen, who's had plenty of success on this ground in the past, is still out there, and it's fair to say he's got a start but not yet kicked on. He's 18 from 15. It's going to be Benny Howell to bowl his second over. First went for 11. He'll be bowling to Amrit Basra, who makes a nice connection, nice cricket stroke down the ground to George Linder at wideish mid-off. And there's no run. There's 1 run. What am I talking about? There's 1 run.
99 for 5. You feel if Derby are going to get close, Madsen needs to score a big bulk of these.
Well, he's taking you for your word and hit it down the ground. Is it going to be... no, it's been fielded by Linder. I thought that was going to go for 4. Good stop. Good diving stop from the South African. Moves to 20, Wayne Madsen. The 100 up to almost complete indifference. 101 for 5. Derbyshire require 83 more. As Benny Howell bowls, again dragged on the leg side by Madsen. He'll only get a single on this occasion. Moves to 4. He's going to need certainly some support from the other end, with still 82 required. Potts, Aitchison, Morley and Akif Jarvid left in the Derbyshire dugout. Nice shot, square of the wicket on the offside by Basra, out to Jack Haynes, fielding in the pretty much the same spot that Basra was fielding in throughout the Outlaws innings. Front of the, almost in the gap between the William Clark stand and the Bridgeford Road stand.
Yep.
Madsen tapping his bat well outside off stump here. Tom Moore standing up. Never really know what you're going to get with Benny Howell. Ball's now and hit back over his head by Madsen, but the fact he's set off running tells you he's not hit it as crisply as he would want, and it's only going to be 2 more. Moores with the helmet on, of course, standing up. Don't think these days Benny Howell's generally got sufficient pace to worry Tom Moores. You know, I think back in the day, sort of had to use to give a little bit of an indicator to the keeper if he was going to bowl it quickly. Pulled away behind square on the leg side. There's going to be more work here for Ollie Stone. Does well, keeps him to 2. It's a good strong throw from Ollie Stone, right over the top from distance. And it's the end of the 12th, 107 for 5. 9 from, no, I beg your pardon, I don't know what happened with the 11th over because I didn't write it down, but it's 107 for 5. They're 2 behind where the Outlaws were at the same stage.
Yeah, fairly even bar the wickets, really. So a partnership here for Derby would mean that Notts would find themselves under a little bit of pressure, but 77 required of 48. Liam Patterson-White to continue wearing 22. Basra goes in the reverse sweep and's got enough of that. That will go for 4, so that will be 4 first ball. And I'm not sure if Basra's been learning from Wayne White or not. I mean, Wayne Madsen, but...
That's a blaster in the pass, Wayne White.
Wayne White, yeah. Played with him at Cambridgeshire. I don't know why he came to mind, but I don't know if Wayne Madsen's been teaching Basra, but 2 lovely executed reverse sweeps from Basra there.
And that'll be a delight for the Derbyshire followers that are with us to see that. And
it's
that.
Now a conventional sweep, and that's going to go for 4 as well. Could not pull that in. Benny Howell there, and that's 2 4s in a row. Basra looking to put the foot to the accelerator here.
I know when you sort of, as a, if you like, an away viewer on the live stream pictures, come back.
This is fast and flat into the wicket from Patterson-White, and Basra chopping it down into the offside.
When you're looking on and thinking, well, oh, crikey, we're running out of people here. I think they'll be pleased to have seen those 2 shots from Basra.
Patterson-White in, and this is down the ground. Well bowled by Patterson-White, leading edge from Basra. Of course, no one there to catch it. Everyone on the ring. 116 for 5. Not lost their 2nd wicket this over. At the end of this one, they were 119. So, again, not far away. Madsen flicking this round the corner. Off the back foot from Patterson-White, and that will be a single. So 10 coming from this one. Again, scoring quite freely are the Derbyshire Falcons. 117 for 5. 1 ball left in this over, and this is a sweep, and this has gone high. And this should be gobbled up by Benny Howell, and is gobbled up by Benny Howell. A top edge sweep, and Liam Patterson-White has the last laugh. Derby lose their 6th. It's 117 for 6, and although they are scoring freely, they just keep losing wickets at regular intervals. And Notts, you feel, are powering through to their 3rd win in a row.
Well, it's certainly edging towards them at the moment. You'd say with Wayne Madsen still there, and we know what he can still do. Still 7 overs left, 67 required. As we've been saying all along, the actual scores are running neck and neck. There's only a couple of runs in it, but it's the wickets now, isn't it? When you're 6 down, really just wonder who it's going to be to play the innings of substance, the lower order innings. Tom Moore's able to get quick fire 39 in the latter part of the Outlaws innings. Said at the time, all the potential for that to be a game changer. 67 required from 7 overs. 9.5 an over required. Benny Howell from the pavilion end to Wayne Madsen. He'll get 1 here, muscling it down the ground to Ben Martindale. So he's now been on since around about the 5th, or at least the 6th over. That's when we spotted that Munsey wasn't on the field. Well, we knew Munsey was on the field in the 6th. So Martindale in the 7th or the 8th for the first time. We're now in the 14th. New bat is, 118 for 6. New bat is Potts, and he's played this to mid-on, and he's denied a run because there's a coming together from Benny Howell and Wayne Madsen. And when I say coming together, they ran into each other, and I don't think either of them beat the count. They were both down on the ground, rolling about with huge belly laughs, and Potts wanted the run but didn't get it. Potts hits the next ball back along the ground to Howell, who fields well off his own bowling, and the over slipping away from Derbyshire. One from just 3 balls now. A little bit of pressure on Nick Potts to rotate the strike, and he's missed that one. A short, quicker delivery from Howell that I wonder if Tom Moores knew it was coming or just reacted on instinct. Benny Howell with a little word to 1 or 2 of his fielders. So he's bowled 4 balls for 1 run so far. And Potts under a bit of pressure, and now he's missed that one, and through to Moores. And Tom Moores says there's 1 ball left, folks. You can see him saying it on the live stream. There's 1 ball left. Why are you all getting in so close? And pushes everybody out onto the discs. They're going to be more than happy to give Nick Potts a single here. So Potts needs a 2 or a 4 or a 6 really. And he slammed that one away, and Martindale again in the deep. Is it over his head? Can't quite reel it in. He might just have got a fingernail to it, but I said a 2 or 4 or a 6, and it's gone for 6. And there from Nick Potts, a real act of defiance, away for a maximum, and an over that produced 1 from 5 balls, goes for 7. Cricket never ceases to amaze you. It wasn't that far away from Ben Martindale. Did he get a nail on it? Not sure. I think he did, actually. I think he did. They're asking for the Mexican wave to be done in the crowd, as if the cricket's not entertaining enough in itself. 124 for 6 after 14.
It's going round, isn't it? They're all going round. Will it falter?
There's no need for you to stand up and join them.
It's just haven't got it quite going at the Radcliffe Road end, where Liam Patterson-White is going. He's into Madsen, who's sweeping, and this has gone straight to Jack Haynes, and you feel with that the hopes for Derbyshire. Liam Patterson-White has deserved that. He's bowled beautifully. Wayne Madsen, who couldn't quite get going, really, he's gone for 27. Derby lose their 7th. It's 124 for 7 now. Madsen's gone. Liam Patterson-White picks up his 2nd, and you feel Notts, who started the blast really, really poorly, are now going to be 3 from 3.
Yeah, first thing Ewan said, the start of the broadcast this evening was Derbyshire come to Trent Bridge in search of doing their first double over Notts since 2005. Well, that might go on a little longer now as the 7th wicket goes down, and they're still well shy of a victory target. Ben Aitchison comes in at number 9. Derbyshire need a hero. Will it be 1 or 2 of these fast bowlers? There's Jack Morley and Akif Javid to come. 60 required from 35.
Patterson-White in, goes down the leg side, and he's going to have to re-bowl that one as Aitchison just doesn't make contact with it.
2 good catches in the deep by Jack Haynes again.
Yeah. Patterson-White in, goes full, and Aitchison down the ground for a single. Brings Potts onto strike. You do know that both these won't die wondering. They'll have to have a go. 58 off 34. It's not in the realms of impossible, but they'll need a fair few mighty blows coming off the willows. This is in, and this is played off the back foot by Nick Potts. Pushed back down to the bowler. No run.
And with the group so tight by Yorkshire, who are not quite out of sight up at the top, but clear, run rate can also be an advantage.
This is swung high. Haynes running around, and Haynes will just watch it sail away for 6. Potts hasn't got all of that, but I tell you what, Derby do have to just keep going. Exactly like what Dave said, it is very, very tight at the top of that table, especially the race for second, and net run rate could come down to that. So the closer they get, the closer it will be come the end of the competition. This is Bull pushed up full into the block hole from Patterson White. That's a dot. 132 for 7, 1 ball left. This over has gone for 8. It's the extra ball. It's going to come back to hurt Knots. Nicked away, and it's going to go under. Muhammad Ali diving away to his right. They're going to get back for 3 in the end. So it costs them 3. 135 for 7 at the end of 15.
Yeah, wicket and 11 from that over. Potts on to 15 from 9. It's already shown that he's got a big shot or two in his armoury. Those watching on the live stream will just see the wicket there of Wayne Madsen. The latest in a cluster of high quality players that have now gone. Donald made 20. Martin Anderson didn't score today. Caleb Jewell 25. Madsen's 27, the top scorer in the innings. Dylan Pennington back into the attack for Notts Outlaws from the far end. 2 overs for 16 earlier on. Got the first wicket. This one goes through to the keeper. Bowled Martin Anderson for naught early on. Stumps splayed in all directions.
Yeah, he started really well. Set the tone straight away, didn't he? Martin Anderson just missing a full straight delivery. Pegged the Derby right back.
Pennington bowls, hit down the ground. And how far is this going to go? 1 bounce 4 by Potts. He's not given up all hope of being the Derbyshire match-winning hero here. It's a lovely shot. Just opened the face slightly. Joe Clark, the Outlaws skipper, running after it, signalling that it had bounced in front of the ropes. 139 for 7. Pennington bowls, and this one's hit back to the bowler. Caught ball, Pennington. Good low catch. Had to readjust. Dylan Pennington. Did you see that? He says to the fellas. Did you see that? And they did. Good catch, low down by his knees. He's a big man, and to adjust quickly like that was a wonderful bit of work. And Potts out for 19 from 12 balls, hit a 6 and 2 fours. And Derbyshire's withering hopes suffer another blow. Really good work, really good catch from Pennington. 39 for 8. 45 now required from 27.
Yeah, slower ball from Dylan Pennington, and Nick Potts threw the shot early. Chalk end, bottom of the bat. Goes back to Dylan Pennington. Always difficult for a fast bowler to take a cordon bowl, and it's a very, very sharp catch. Replies in the perfect way. Keith Jarvid, Derbyshire's number 10, walks to the crease. 139 for 8. They require a further 45 runs to win.
Pennington now to bowl then to the recent arrival Jarvid. Gives him one on his pads that he can turn away to deep square leg for a single. 40 for 8. So there's just Jack Morley to come for the Falcons. 140 for 8. Means 44 required from 26. Wickets have been shared around. 3 to Mo Ali, 2 now to Pennington, 2 to Liam Patterson-White. Bowls now a slower ball, and Aitchison through with the shot, and they'll scamper her by. Tom Moores couldn't gather the slower ball cleanly. Apologises to his teammates. They take the bye. 141 for 8. Ollie Stone with the other wicket to fall, that of Ross Whiteley. 141 for 8. 1 ball left in the 16th. That run rate climbing, approaching 10.5 and over now. Jarvid Faces second ball, single to his name. Pennington bowls to him, and my word, he's got hold of this one out into the deep and should be caught by Freddie McCann. And he had to just have that little comfort blanket of being able to toss the ball up into the air, step over the boundary rope and step back inside before taking it cleanly and legally. And away goes Akif Javid, out for one, and it's a second wicket in the over, third in the innings for Dylan Pennington.
Yeah, really good work, just very good awareness from young Freddie McCann there on the boundary, looking away into the sun, really, as this has gone up, and as it's going up, he takes the catch, the momentum's carrying him back towards the boundary rope, flips it up inside and regathers it. So really, really good work. The Falcons lose their ninth. It's 141 for 9, and exactly what you want to see if you're Jack Morley. You want to see the tall, fast bowler Muhammad Ali stood at the top of his mark to bowl the 17th over.
Yeah, this is actually just one run between the two sides' scores at the moment. Notts had 142 at this stage, Derbyshire 141. The difference, of course, the wickets. Notts were only 4 down, Derbyshire 9 down. Mo Ali then, 141 for 9, bowling to Ben Aitchison. First ball right in the block hole. This is drilled to wideish mid-off. And they take a single, and be Jack Morley on strike. Finish it off, Kyle, then, if you can. 142 for 9, or one way or another, finish it off. Might be Jack Morley will have a statue erected in his honour here if he can whack 42 off 23.
Yeah, most definitely. 142 for 9, 42 runs left off to get off 23 deliveries. Ali looking for his 4th wicket. They're just making sure they've got the field right. They do now, so Morley's probably not going to get many in his half here. Or he's going to get a couple of Yorkers. Nope, short ball straight away. There's no such thing as you look after your tail enders nowadays, do you? Straight away, flick, big fast bowler flexing his muscles, I'm going to bounce you.
Yeah, but it's not it's not a fast bowler at the other end, of course.
Nope,
unusually for the number 11, it's Jack Morley. Don't think their paths are. You never know if their paths are likely to cross again, but if they do, I don't think Mo Ali will fear any short pitch stuff from Jack Morley.
Definitely not. I think he'd probably welcome it. Mo Ali into Morley, who's giving himself room and drives it into Martindale, who does the fielding. And they go through for a single. Brings Aitchison back onto strike. They require a further 40, 143 for 9, halfway through the 17th. It is quite staggering. In regards to runs, at the end of the 17th, Notts are 152 for 5. I'm not sure Derby will be around 150 at the end of this over. You never know, but kept up. They've just kept losing wickets at regular intervals. You feel the wicket of Nye Donald by Mo Ali was a big one, and this is full, and Yorker tucks Aitchison up and goes through to Tom Moore's no run. Nye Donald was 20 off 8 balls before he got out on his 9th ball faced. He was going like a train, sort of just felt there were a few skeletons in the closet from a couple of the Notts bowlers the way Nye Donald was going. As soon as he got out, he kept losing wickets at regular intervals. They've pegged them back, 143 for 9. Derby look very likely to get their revenge on Derby. Ali in, slower ball, hammered back at the bowler, and outstretched hand, couldn't quite gather the ball. That would have been an absolute screamer. That would have, I think, gone one better than Rob Yates' caught and bowled on Friday night. That would have been something spectacular. 1 ball left in the 17th over, 144 for 9.
I dare say it would have been not only unexpected, but would have been unlikely as well from Mo Ali. His bowling is certainly his strong suit, shall we say, of the 3 disciplines of the game.
We're tend to agree with you. You've been very diplomatic there, Dave. This is in and guided down to third man, where they will run through for a quick single. So at the end of the 17th, it is 145 for 5, and the DJ's trying to get a big sing-along going on. And this is the first time this season we've heard Sweet Caroline blast out over the microphone. Crazy.
Yeah, well, you just can't get a delivery on time these days, can you? He's obviously had it on order.
Dylan Pennington to continue.
Yeah, 145 for 9 then. 3 overs remaining, 39 needed to win. So Pennington comes into Morley, who was dancing around, couldn't get a firm base really for his feet, and just wafted the bat at it as it went past through to Moores. Not entirely sure when Notts posted 183 for 6. I was fancying they might win this by more than 30 runs, but that's still probably the likeliest outcome. 39 needed. Morley gets this into the offside, fielded by the sub Martindale, who's already taken a good catch. 38 required to win, so if the wicket went down now it'd be a 37 run victory for Notts, and I said that seemed a little bit fanciful at the interval. Thought Notts might have been a handful light. It was important, those late runs that they managed to muster to get it up to and beyond 180. 146 for 9, the Falcons. Aitchison on strike on 3, and now he's hit this one up into the air, and Freddie McCann's backpedaling, which is bad news for him and for the bowler, because Freddie McCann was out on the deep mid-wicket boundary, and although he's already caught one and flicked it back inside and caught it, I'm afraid this time he was backpedaling to try and go and fetch it. It's ended up again, I think, in the Larwood & Vose car park on the bounce. Away for 6, so Ben Aitchison reduces the deficit. 150 up, 152 for 9, and Derbyshire need 32 from 15.
Yeah, it's a lusty blow that from Aitchison. Freddie McCann was interested for all of 2 seconds and then realised he'd have to go and retrieve that ball in the parking lot.
Halfway through the 18th, Pennington looking to finish the match here and now. Bowls right up in the block hole. Good looking shot from Aitchison. Will get a single, pushing it out to a wide-ish mid-off, where Ollie Stone gets to it ahead of Joe Clark. Keeps them to 1. 153 for 9. 1 ball, 2 balls left in the over. Morley, the number 11 on strike, the left-hander. He's got 3. Pennington bowls to him, backs away, and fairly ambitious swish towards leg with the ball nowhere near. Goes through to Moores. 153 for 9. 31 required from 13. Notts on the brink of a 3rd straight win. They would all be here at Trent Bridge. Made the point earlier. They've got 6 matches left in the group, 4 of them away from Nottingham. Got to find a way to win on their travels, you fancy, if they're going to get through to the knockouts. Pennington bowls now, and another swish and a miss, and they're going to run the bye. Pennington throws it down to the far end, narrowly misses, and it's a good job. Well, I'll say it's a good job Ollie Stone was backing up. He's slid, and I have no idea how many they've run here. I think it's a 3 in the end, and that's a combination of, is it 3 byes as well? It is, it's 3 byes, so Tom Moores couldn't gather it. Mo Ali has thrown it wildly down the far end as they were running the first one. Ollie Stone slid towards the ball and kicked it down towards the pavilion fence, raced after it, needed another kick to prevent it from going to the fence, and then managed to get it back in. And whilst all that was going on, they've run 3, so 150, I think that's what they took. 153 for 9 means 31 are required, and Morley's back on strike. Yeah, they did get 3. No, and now it's gone up, 156 for 9. I didn't think the score could have been right. 28 needed from 12, Kyle.
Yeah, at the same stage, Notts were 156 as well. So Mo Ali and Morley backing away, pushing it into the covers, and they run through for a single. 157 for 9.
You will note at no stage have I written Derbyshire off here. No. I've seen enough of this over the years to realise when there's still a little bit of a beating pulse. However dire the situation, there might still be a chance. 27 required from 11. Aitchison back on strike. He's already at 1-6. Mo Ali looking for his 4th wicket.
Ali in, goes full, and this is carved away. This will be 4. And Derby are not going down without a fight here. Aitchison has given it his best go. It's 23 required. He backs away, gives himself room, shows the entire set of stumps, and it is carved away for 4.
It's a little bit like the match at Derby, where you felt Notts were never going to win, but as the runs became more and more plentiful in the last 2 or 3 overs, you just, we said, didn't we? Well, what if, and could they? And well, no, Notts couldn't. But as I say, there's still a beating pulse in this Derbyshire side.
Ali, how does he come back? Goes slow ball into the wicket, helped on the leg side. Not going to get through for a single. Aitchison throws his head up in the air in agony, thinking, was that the one to club away for 6? 22 required off 9.
Yeah, don't want to put the downers on it for Derbyshire, but Jack Morley back on strike. I think they need Ben Aitchison's ball striking if they're going to get much closer. 22 required from 9, but it might be another scrambled 3 byes here or something for Jack Morley.
Yeah. Mo Ali around the wicket to Morley. Taps his bat, there goes short down the leg side, and that's 1 for the over. So that will be a dot ball again. There's been a few of those today. I think that
was okay. I thought he bowled it wide of the crease and into the left-hander who was bobbing down. So although Tom Morse takes it in a line of several feet down the leg side, I think that probably went over his arched back over the stumps. But
yeah, you're probably right.
People will have their own opinion.
So
it's the umpires that count.
It's all the umpires are the only people that count. 22 to go off 8. A couple of these have got to disappear into the stands if you are a Derbyshire fan. Ali in, goes slow ball, hammered down the ground, doesn't quite go to Joe Clark, who decides not to throw it. 21 needed off 7, 1 ball left of the over. Mo Ali figures of 3 for 24. He's been superb today again. He's been superb for pretty much every game. Back-to-back 3-wicket hauls for the international. Derbyshire 163 for 9.
I think it was about a 20-run difference between the sides at Derby, wasn't it, in the end? Of 23 runs.
Ali, Aitchison waits, goes full, gets an outside edge, and it's carved away. And it's gone for 1. So 20 is going to be needed off the final over. It's a very good set from Mo Ali. He finishes with figures of 3 for 25, which will mean the Falcons require 20 of 6 balls if they're going to do the double over Notts and take all 4 points.
Mo Ali's best figures for Notts, beating the 3 for 27 he took on Friday. Already 12 wickets in 6 matches now for Mo Ali, who's going to be sticking around until the end of the season. Won't be playing in the next 2 county championship matches. Fergus O'Neill and Carl Verena will be back operating as the 2 overseas players, and then O'Neill goes back to Australia for the 6 matches, August and September. Mo Ali, but he's going to be here for the rest of this competition and for the Metro Bank. He'll be a useful acquisition for that competition. Here's Ollie Stone trying to wrap it up. Aitchison on strike, hits it. Well, he's hit it, that's correct. Morley's going to come back for 2 here. Martindale with the throw down to Tom Moore's end, and they've got back for 2. That's good running. That was a case of, well, we've really got to do this or there's no point. And Morley made sure he got back. When he struck it initially, I thought he'd absolutely laced it. Plenty of pace always on the ball from Ollie Stone, and usually comes off the bat with just as much. 166 for 9. 18 needed from 5. Stone to Aitchison, runs here, runs a plenty here, that's half a dozen. Square of the wicket on the offside. No idea where that's gone out of the ground. That's away for 6, and I think you're going to have to oh no, it's been retrieved. There's a youngster who's just run down the gap between the Bridgeford Road stand and the William Clark. That went very, very high. If that had just hit the right bit of concrete, that would have bounced out and onto the road. Away for 6 runs. So that makes it interesting. 12 from 4, Ollie Stone. What have you got?
Ooh, I tell you what, this is very tight.
Ben Aitchison, what have you got? Don't rule out the tie. 11 from 4 for the tie. 12 from 4 for the win. Derbyshire still alive. Stone to Aitchison. Oh, and that's hit him. Don't think it's done any damage. It hasn't. There's a rueful grin from Aitchison. I think it was pace off. The only thing I would have been fearful of was it might have gone down the leg side if it hadn't hit him, and the extra ball and the extra run wouldn't have done Notts any favours. As it is, it's now 12 from 3 for the win, 11 from 3 for the tie. Ollie Stone with the longest of long runs here. He's well outside the 30-yard discs. Crowd giving it the Greg Rutherford, Jonathan Edwards long jumpers hand clap as he comes down the runway. Ollie Stone 172 for 9. He bowls now, and a play and a miss, a swish and a miss from Aitchison. Certainly no pace off there. That thudded into the gloves of Tom Moores, and now it's all or nothing for Aitchison. 12 from 2 to win. Not entirely sure how he could get 11 from 2 for the tie. That might have gone now. But if this goes for 6, we've got the grandstand finish. Notts fans, are they going to be happy? Ollie Stone to bowl the penultimate ball. 12 needed. In now to Aitchison, who misses it, and it's through to Moores. And Notts should win this now, barring an absolute disaster from the bowler. 172 for 9. And it's going to be 3 consecutive wins for Notts. Derbyshire will have to wait a while to do the double again over Notts. It'll be 1 home victory apiece this year in the North Group. Both sides still nicely poised for a push for the knockouts, but it looks like Notts are going to take the points. Last ball of the match. Derbyshire 12 runs shy. There's Ollie Stone into bowl, and it's slashed away to backward point. They probably, under normal circumstances, could have run a second. Benny Howell throws it in. They only get 1. Ben Aitchison just showing what he can do there. Finishes 25 not out. Jack Morley 5 not out. The last pair added an unbroken 32 from 24. But the Falcons close on 173 for 9, and the margin of the Outlaws' victory is 10 runs. They've won their 3rd match in a row, and after losing their first 3, just found some forward momentum. Half centuries at the start of the day from George Munsey, who made 53, Jack Haynes for 50. When they'd both gone, it was 126 for 3. A little bit of a wobble as Howell and Linda went. Joe Clark at the top of the order missed out again. Tom Moore's 39 really got Notts to a pass score, if nothing more. 183 for 6 we fancied, but the early wickets of Martin Anderson in the first over and then Nye Donald in the 3rd really set back Derbyshire. Jewell, Madsen, Whiteley and eventually Aitchison all getting into the 20s, but top score was Wayne Madsen's 27, and more often than not, if you're chasing 180, that's not going to get the job done. It's Notts Outlaws who take the win, and you have to say they've not been at their A game, but certainly the last 3 games, Kyle, much better than the first 3.
Yeah, much better, and they've got a little bit of momentum now. 3 wins, 3 losses, but most importantly, they're just on a little bit of a roll. They know what's working. They've got a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum behind them, and will do them all the good. They're in the conversation now. We were worried about where they would end up after the first 3 games, and it's just starting to click a little bit. And if your side that are not hitting everything perfectly and are still managing to win games of cricket, you're moving in the right direction.
Kyle, very much thanks for your company and your commentary today. A double header here at Trent Bridge, a double bonus for home supporters, and that they initially early on saw the Blaze go to the top of the women's table, beating Lancashire Thunder, and now Notts Outlaws managing to get the win over the old rivals, the good friends from down the A52 of.
Thanks to Dave and to Carl there for the commentary. But as you can see, I've got Paul Franks, assistant head coach of the Notts Outlaws. Franksy, 9 days ago, you spoke after the defeat at Derby and you said that one hurt and it was tough to take. What's the feeling right now after winning that game?
Feels like we've come a long way in 9 days, doesn't it? Yeah, we were poor that night and we knew we were, and no one was hiding from anything, and we needed to use it for all the right reasons to improve. And I think we've shown real good signs of improvement. There's more to come, there has to be, because that's the journey you have to go on in this competition. But delighted to finish this block with some real momentum.
You said on that night we need to use that defeat for fuel to get better and to improve. What do you think you've seen over the last few days that's resulted in 3 victories since that night?
I think we've seen more clarity. We've seen better performance with both bat and ball. And we've started to emerge with an identity now which looks like the best version of the players we've got. The bowlers have improved markedly, led by Mo, who's doing a fantastic job and has settled in brilliantly, become a really popular member of the team. He's taking wickets, another outstanding performance today. So I look at it and I think, yeah, we look like a team that's now starting to perform. And hopefully when we come back to this competition in 2 weeks' time, we'll pick it up and we'll crack on from there.
I spoke to you on the first game really, against Yorkshire, and we spoke about the overseas, George Munsey, George Linde, even though he wasn't playing that day, and Mo Ali, and asked you what they were going to bring to the team. What have they actually brought to the team in this first block?
Well, in George Munsey's case and Mo Ali, they both performed really well. I think Georgie Linde's not quite hit his straps yet, but I think there's more to come from him. But in the other two's case, high level of performance, high level of skill, and all three of them want to do really well. You know, they're driven, they're adding a lot to the dressing room, they're here for all the right reasons, and that goes a long way. So, yeah, look, I think in George Munsey's case, a real strong, powerful batter at the top of the order who's got us off to some good starts and is our leading run scorer. And in Mo Ali's case now, our leading wicket taker as well. So it says it all, really, doesn't it? You know, we've got the makings of a really successful unit. It's up to us now to keep going in the right direction.
We always use the word momentum. Do you feel... It's the first block, so as you said earlier, we've got a 2-week break now. How do we keep that momentum going when we get back to County Championship and then come back to 2 away games, playing Kent first, that we don't often play?
Yeah, well, we have to prep well. You know, we have to prep well, like we would. It's almost like a knockout game, isn't it? You know, you play them very rarely, if we've ever played them at all in T20 cricket, and we've got to be respectful of that. So we'll have to prepare well. It'll be a physical weekend. That we'll be in Canterbury on Friday night and back here. I think playing another game on the Sunday, so that it'll come around thick and fast as it tends to. But we have to hit it with the energy, the same energy we've hit this last 9 days, 10 days, and to win 3 games in a row. That league table looks a lot better now, than it did 9 days ago.
Yeah, sorry about that. Will you be doing the team talk in the dressing room? What will the message be to the lads now? Because obviously some do go back into County Championship. Yeah. Some players at a T20 base will have a bit of time off, but what's the message now after seeing, quite a decent crowd go home quite happy?
Yeah, well, I think that they'll know that we've levelled the score with Derby for a start, which is always a good place to go, right? Like it was a long journey home from Derby 2 weeks ago and down that A52. Let me tell you. So yeah, all things considered, they'll know they've done well, and they'll be told they've done well. I'm sure they will. But they'll know there's more to come and there's more to achieve. Everybody's got to keep getting a bit more out of themselves, and we have to be ready to play in 2 weeks' time.
Really good to chat to you.
Good on you, mate.
Congratulations.
Cheers,
I know you'll enjoy it, so I don't need to say that to you, but see you soon. All right. Okay, thanks to Paul Franks, the assistant head coach of the Notts Outlaws there. And to be fair, this last little block, it's ended well for the Notts Outlaws, hasn't it? Sorry. It's been 3 wins in the last 3 games here, ending this first block on quite a high. But as Franks has just said there is work to do later on down the competition. But for the T20, that's it for a couple of weeks. We will have county championship action here on Friday on Trent Bridge Live, so feel free to join us then. But from a T20 point of view, we'll be back at home at the beginning of July. But it's a win for Notts Outlaws versus the Derbyshire Falcons. As Francie says, it's 1-1 and everybody can go home happy. But from everybody here at Trent Bridge Live, thank you very much for your company this afternoon and enjoy the rest of your weekend.